if you hear some sizzling in the background, I am making stir fry. Sorry.
We start the show with Dad and John John's twin brother playing dress up and wearing wigs when John gets a phone call about a ship coming over to visit. We'll then learn that the ship isn't coming over to play, it's being chased by an invisible bird. The bird pecks at it real hard and falls over onto John's lawn, so it's his ship now. Then the bird gets bored and flies away. Burning Man comes over to Chad and says there's a whole nest of invisible birds next door. But Toby's just happy to play with Burning Man's toys. Today's episode, the first one we're doing, is the first one I did an accurate summary for. And it was okay. And that's all I got to say about that. So, yeah, we might hear strange noises coming from you. You might also hear strange noises coming from my mic. Because right now I'm doing some house sitting, and I have 2 dogs right now. So, I don't know how the background noise suppressor is going to work.
Very important. What flavor of dogs?
They're chocolate.
Nice.
Things are going okay. Yeah, so right now I'm kind of perched on the edge of my chair because the small dog, the Yorkshire Terrier, is behind me laying on a blanket. He's just hanging out. So here's on stream the picture. You can see with my nice... Colors look weird on this picture, whatever. So yeah, there's the Yorkie sitting behind me, so I'm just on the edge. It's a little bit uncomfortable, but I mean, what am I gonna do? She's asleep.
Aww.
And by my feet, I also have the big fella just chilling. So yeah, I've just got a couple. Everything I own right now is covered in dog hair. Everything is covered in fur.
You're surrounded.
When I get home, I'm gonna need to take air compressor to my keyboard and even my mouse. I'm gonna need to wipe down my mouse pad. It's gonna be a whole thing. Also, I forgot to start the timer. We'll put that to 3 minutes, since we should have started it a couple minutes ago. If anyone else would like to join the voice chat, join the Discord. There's a link in the description, you can just come right in. So the first episode today is going to be The Defector, Season 3, Episode 10, I think. One of the best episodes in all of Star Trek. It's really good.
Ooh, that's a strong phrase.
And I'm standing by it. Are you familiar with The Defector?
I am.
Okay. Do you agree with my assessment?
It's a good episode. Best in Trek? I don't know. It's good.
One of the best. One of the best.
Yeah. It is good. I will give you that.
And by the way, this dog that's currently sleeping behind me, don't worry, we're not going to wake her up. She's basically deaf. We could just talk all we want. Don't worry about it. She'll be fine.
Poor old broad.
Yeah, she's like 18. She's an old dog. So I'm just queuing myself up to 0 on the Defector.
For the chat, it definitely does not make my top 10.
What do you mean it doesn't make your top 10?
Nah.
What? Okay. What are some examples in your top 10?
Let's see. Pale Moonlight, Waltz. Best of Both Worlds is good.
Yeah, I don't know if we can let DB in the call. This is kind of ridiculous.
A lot of them are I prefer Deep Space Nine anyway. I think most of my top 10 are in DS9. But
I mean, DS9 is great, but it's the Defector, man. Come on. We get a Romulan, we get Admiral Jarok, we get the same sort of thing as in Eamon Maritza, the filing clerk in Duet.
Yeah, that's probably one of the top 10 too.
And it's basically the same thing here. It's the same episode, they just made it again.
No, Eamon Maritza, that episode was completely different. That was a psychological drama, not a defection.
I mean, it was kind of a reverse situation. Before, in Duet, we have a low-level guy pretending to be high-level guy. In this episode, we get a high-level guy pretending to be a low-level guy.
So it is the exact opposite.
But it's the same theme. It's thematically similar. It's like poetry, it rhymes. Anyway, press play in 5,
Oh shit.
4, 3, 2, 1, play. I hear you struggling with that stir fry to get back and press play.
Damn it. You tricked me.
And I got a timer on stream. It's not my fault you can't watch the stream and do your stir fry at the same time. So this part is kind of weird. The guy holding the pike? Halberd? What would you call that? That guy. I mean, it's clearly just Patrick Stewart. It's not even subtle. But it's not Captain Picard.
It's Gene Luck.
It's John Luck Pickard. Yeah, that... I don't know why do they have a hollow image of Captain Picard playing some character in a play? And that Patrick Stewart even has hair. Oh yeah, if you also hear me talking, if you hear me saying things that don't make any sense, I'm probably talking to the dog, don't worry about it.
Hey, gang.
Hello
Yo.
there. Now, how do you feel about the Defector? Is it in your top 10 episodes?
Yes.
Good.
Of all
You can
Trek?
say.
Of all Trek.
Yeah, because TNG's probably like, yeah. I mean, that's like 700 hours of television. But off the top of my head, yes.
Oh,
Good. Yeah, Patrick Stewart just really wanted to play a Shakespearean character here, because, I mean, dude's from the Royal Shakespeare Company. He loves Shakespeare. It's his whole thing. He's putting on kind of a weird voice, though. It's still weird that it's not Captain Picard, because Captain Picard is watching his twin. This is why, in the accurate summary, it's Data, John, and John's twin brother.
well, the stir fry is good anyway, if you were wondering.
What's in it? Is it a chicken stir fry? Is it a vegetable stir fry? Is it a beef stir fry? What's going on?
Pork.
Pork stir fry, okay.
Yep. Shakespeare and the original Klingon, of course.
When John gets a phone call about a ship coming over to visit. Is what's happening now. Are they actually going to do this play for the crew? They just playing by themselves. And there's some foreshadowing from Data. Why should a king wish to pass as a commenter? I don't know, Data. Maybe we'll get an example of that this episode. Maybe that'll come up. Just trying to be polite with Data, telling him he's bad.
But he just said he was splendid.
But let's not rush it.
Look at Worf already being racist. He didn't even say anything yet.
Just because he's glaring? He's always glaring, though.
Yeah, but he was glaring harder when he heard it was Romulan.
Okay. There's Eamon Maritza. What's this guy's fake name? I really like the Romulan music. It's very dramatic.
Pew Pew Bird.
Now the bird's gonna peck it real hard, and it's gonna fall over onto John's lawn.
Pew Pew, Pew Pew Pew.
Alright, so the German Shepherd is no longer laying right next to my feet. Now he's laying slightly to the side. Just to update you all. It's very important. Small dog is still asleep. I think. She might just have breathing problems. I don't know. She sounds like she's asleep. So yeah, this episode. Is this... I think this might be the first Romulan Defector we ever get. We'll end up getting quite a few of them. Because we get Admiral Sherrock. We get the dissonant movement from Troy's episode where she goes undercover inadvertently or against her will. There's the dude who brings the message from Spock. How many Romulan Defectors do we get?
Yeah, and in
So
the
technically-
neutral zone also,
Go ahead.
wasn't there that the sleeping guy? Yeah.
And the sleeping guy in the neutral... Do you mean the episode The Neutral Zone or just the Neutral Zone?
Yeah, no, it wasn't the neutral zone. It was last week. Maybe you already said it.
I don't need to remember. I don't remember what we watched last week. I remember The Price. I remember we watched that. And it was awful.
Remember Geordi was like on the planet?
Oh, right. Yeah, I don't think that guy was a defector, though.
He was...
He's a pretty cool guy, but I don't think it was a defector.
No, he was a loyalist. The first thing he said to Tomalak was, "I told them nothing."
Yeah. They probably still tortured him anyway, but yeah.
This is the way.
This is the way. It's just a standard mind probe. It's fine. It's standard procedure in this kind of incident. Uther, what are you looking at me like that?
Third one this week.
Look, that the direction is so dramatic in this episode.
I think this is the only action we get, so they're really they're all into it.
Yeah, all the rest of the episode it's just people talking in a room.
Yeah, it's just standoff.
Granted, people just talking in a room is some of the best episodes in Star Trek. All the
Picard
courtroom
is
episodes
yelling.
are great.
The captain is yelling at the TV.
Well, he needs to be dramatic.
It's like, I know they don't have me on mute.
And nobody's ever going to mention this again. It does not matter at all that a Romulan warbird entered Federation space, as they are wont to do. I still don't know what the rules are about the neutral zone. Why are the Romulans allowed to enter the neutral zone whenever they want with warbirds?
Who is that ensign? What is he doing right now? Did he
guy
survive
on
the
the helm?
Dominion War? Yeah.
I don't know, but why do all the background characters still have the awful collarless uniforms?
Hang on, do all Romulans have calf cut pants? If he weren't wearing boots, you'd be able to see 4 inches above his ankle.
Oh, high water Romulan pants.
Maybe we should go back to watch The Enemy and see what his pants are like.
The new Romulan military uniforms are just like jorts with boots.
I mean, do we need a video about Romulan pants?
I mean, actually, if you look at Picard, they are basically jorts. And
All right, I'm looking up Tomalak right now. Ambassador Tomalak, of course. I'm going to see if I can find his pants.
Do we ever see Tomalak's pants? I feel like we only see him on screen.
You'll have to go to the episode where Riker's in a holodeck. The one where he's in a holodeck with an alien. He walks out with he's an admiral, and he walks out of the ready room with Admiral Picard. It's a full shot. You should see it there.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Now, will Amazon let me bring up 2 videos at the same time? I don't know.
It's $2 extra.
Is that season 4? 15 Federation sectors.
It's Future Imperfect, right? I think.
Yep, season 4, episode 8. Well, Picard doesn't seem to be taking it too seriously. He's not worried. Everything will be fine.
This is also a flip of the episode with that guy who was the Federation captain. I can't remember his name. In the Cardassian base that he wanted destroyed to prevent war.
Oh, O'Brien's old captain?
Yeah.
That wasn't Pressman. That was
Captain something with a B, maybe.
So I found the shot of Ambassador Tomalak. Let me unblur the screen for just that. He has similar pants.
Those are lower.
They're lower,
Yeah,
but they're
black
similar.
pants.
And maybe he wears them low.
Maybe he's just shorter and it's standard issue pants.
He does have a pretty long coat if he wanted to wear it, like 3 inches down below where that should be.
Who did you say the captain was? Captain who?
Well,
Oh, Benjamin Maxwell, that's right.
Ben Maxwell. Yeah, that's right.
Was it B?
Yeah, Benjamin Maxwell had some issues.
He had very
One of many
strong
examples of
concerns.
Starfleet officers kind of going insane and murdering people. Well, perhaps to start one, very dramatic, Captain, thank you.
I feel like they would have felt a little bit of a shockwave from that.
there are shockwaves in space.
No, but some of
No.
the debris could have hit the ship.
Yeah, like something.
They did say the engines and all that were bad. You think they would have handled that before they took a meeting?
Maybe they kept it like a certain distance from the ship just in case it popped.
You say you're not a traitor, but I think the Romulan government might disagree with you on that point. And I'm pretty sure the government's the one who gets to decide who's a traitor and who's not.
This guy needs to hold still. The doctor's trying to work. Oh, hey.
Yeah, this is incredibly delusional by him. Like, there's no way that the government would be like, "Oh, you were just trying to save us from ourselves. You're not a traitor. Sorry."
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he knows he'll never be able to go back.
He does, yeah. He's just telling himself he's not a traitor. That's true.
Yeah.
This is one long, honorable sacrifice.
I'm not sure about this guy whose name we certainly don't know is Admiral Jarok. I don't really like his haircut. I don't like Romulan hair. It's weird. They have like the straight line across the forehead and then it goes over the ears in a weird way. I don't like it.
Yeah, it's meant to build off like Vulcan hair, but more disheveled.
I mean, Vulcans also have ugly hair.
The bowl cut's logical.
Is it?
Everyone use the same bowl, and we're good. It's
I would
probably a ritual bowl on Vulcan.
I would think if they actually want to go for logical, they just get a buzz cut because it's simple and practical, easy to maintain.
No, but you can't ring a gong for a buzz cut. You can ring a gong to bring the ceremonial bowl cut bowl out.
Okay.
Gotta do things the Vulcan way.
We do see shaved Vulcan heads in the fourth movie.
This is true.
Okay.
And
I like
I
how-
don't-
Rebel.
I don't get Vulcans. They're supposed to be all about logic, but then they're all about like religion and spirituality and ritual.
Yeah, no, they make absolutely no sense. Their entire
It's what-
culture would be completely different if they were fully logical, because like there would be no art, there would be no aesthetic or anything like that. Everything that we see on Vulcan is like designed and pretty. Like that wouldn't happen. If they
They're
were
just
logical,
liars, is what it is.
It would be straight lines and triangles everywhere for structures and everything like that.
No,
Because,
hang
like,
on. I think it would be like an enforced creativity thing, like the IDIC, infinite diversity, infinite
It'd be
combinations.
like the Tesla Cybertruck.
Right.
Oh well, maybe yeah.
Or just like the
I
most
think they would
pure form
encourage
of
art.
brutalist architecture that could possibly exist.
No, because you know why? It's because like the Tesla Cybertruck is made out of cold rolled steel, and like that's really difficult to like manipulate or cast into like a rounded shape or whatever. You can do it. It's just like ridiculously expensive because I guess it's in the name, cold rolled steel. So Anyway, but like the reason it's shaped like that is because basically you get 2 angles. And like
Target friend
that's
mugs.
what-
Continue.
No, that's it. I was done. Fun.
Okay.
I didn't know that. I just know that the Cybertruck is made in the PS1 era.
Polygonal.
Oh, foreshadowing. Or not foreshadowing exactly, but just,
What,
showing us a plot point.
It's a Tic Tac. What's wrong?
It's fine. So, speaking of cold, why can't the computer know what an Onkian is? I know it's just to make Admiral Jarok feel isolated and alone out here, but why wouldn't the computer know what an Onkian is? Come on.
Yeah, it would convert. Like, that's insane.
Fleet of artificial generated power, negative, reflected pattern. Pattern? Did that say reflected pattern? Well, it's negative in any case. Oh, the German Shepherd has now gone to look out the window at a USPS truck.
Important business.
Very important.
I like how the computer's voice followed him from the bridge to the reading room. I think the computer has like that action on everyone, so the voice just follows.
I'm still not sure if it's coming out of the speakers in the ship or out of their comm badge. Like they tend to look up, but it's not always consistent.
I don't. Maybe it's just placebo, but it sounds like it's coming out of my left ear mostly, which is the direction of the screen. Instead of on the right is the comm badge.
That would be off screen for the in-house speakers, then, yeah.
I just watched this movie with Denzel Washington and Gene Hackman. I think like Code of Honor or something like that, Ship of Honor, Maid of Honor, or something like that. But it was about the Navy and how.
Oh, is it Crimson Tide?
Yes, thank you very much. So Crimson Tide, nothing like what I originally thought.
Good movie.
So amazing movie. So it was the Sean Connery movie of what the U-459, whatever that movie is. Like those submarine films I saw on this other YouTube channel. Like even Star Trek the original series kind of plays off the submarine kind of ethic, which is like you don't know, like especially the episodes against the Klingons and the Balance of Terror episode, that you can, you're always underwater. There's always a fear of mutiny on the ship, and so Star Trek at some point always plays into these kind of submarine kind of tropes. So right now, like when they have the defector who says like just destroy them right now, that way prevent a bigger war later or something. It kind of reminds you of that Gene Hackman movie, which is Crimson Tide, so which is after the Alabama team, right? So the so the it's just the Navy captains back then, they had a right to use nuclear weapons, and they show at the end of the film that they took it away by 1996. But like, if you're in the Cold War, it's 1988. The last thing you received was that the Russians had fired. You have the right operational right to fire your nuclear weapons without authorization from the president or Congress or whatnot. Because the idea was like you might be the last surviving boat out there.
Yeah,
So you
like
need
chain
to
of
be
command
prepared.
would break down, so you want the captains to have that option.
Whew, a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Sean Connery one was Hunt for Red October, and U-571
That's right.
was the submarine movie about the World War II soldiers who were after the Enigma machines.
Right.
Oh, right. But it's also amazing the entire history of the Nazi German U-boats that were attacking Allied shipping or American shipping in the Atlantic, and how effective they were. But at some point, we had neutralized the U-boat threat, and also they lost enough good officers that they were never able to rebuild their fleet by the end of the last 2-3 years of the war. So it's a tough job, by the way, to work in a submarine. Horrible death, by the way, if the ship sinks, because basically everybody you love drowns.
So I have a question here. Captain Picard is asking Data to keep a record, an objective record for the next 24 hours. If they're thinking they're going to go into Romulan space and potentially start a war, does Data have cloud backup?
They never mention it.
I'm worried
Data
he's just going to lose the log.
Data has Bluetooth and 5G.
Okay. I mean, Bluetooth's not that great. I mean, I have to whenever I'm using a game controller, it's constantly losing connection if I don't have the transmitter in just the right place.
He can't possibly have 5G because there's nobody on the ship that has coronavirus.
Oh, true. Yeah, but there are no birds. There are no birds flying that are deflecting the 5G waves. So,
well, birds aren't even real.
When they show him in Picard, right, and he says, "Can you delete my copy, please?" So I feel like that's his last copy on his cloud backup. So that's what he's saying, though. To just delete me from the cloud. Let me.
You were making a joke, but that is also true. Like, Data did have a cloud backup.
That was figured out after the fact. This was effectively Picard asking Data to press the record button. That was all that. Just press the record button. You're a computer. Apparently,
maybe he's
you're
constantly
never
transmitting to Starfleet.
I don't think Data has wireless. Because doesn't he have to plug into the computer when he interacts with it?
He does, but I mean, we also know that Data's a liar and constantly hides his abilities.
This is true.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Bluetooth was not invented yet. We don't have Bluetooth.
Data also gets possessed a couple times by wireless things.
It's
Data's wireless.
Picard would even have to ask him to do that because, like, Data doesn't forget.
Yeah, wouldn't it just be constantly running?
Right.
Yeah.
He's recovering his own back there. He's recovering his own back in case he gets charged for something later on, and he's objectively told Data, do this, so then he's on the record.
Okay.
That could be.
That's from someone who works in a paranoid workplace, and I do that all the time.
What a quaint little effect.
Nice plot point that they suddenly did.
The probe? Oh, no. Worf, right.
The Klingon ship, yeah.
It's so easy to miss the connection between what's happening right now and what happens at the very end. It's so easy to forget. It's just a minor little background detail.
Sorry, on the Data wireless thing, because the chat's also talking about it.
The wireless data thing.
Like the fact that like he reads the pages super fast is very indicative of the fact that like he can't just download the information, or he chooses not to, or just like transfers it via wireless to his thing. He's entirely optical sensory.
Yeah, I think Lauren Stone might be the only ones that can access him wirelessly, because I think even in the episode where he got like taken over by that old dude in season 1, I'm pretty sure he touched something and then lightning affected him.
No, we never saw the guy go into him in season 1. It just sort of happened off screen.
And that guy had also never seen Data before, so he wouldn't know how to access the wireless.
He was also a cutting edge computer scientist.
Yeah, he claimed he taught Sung everything he knew, which, who knows if that's true, because he was an egomaniac.
The dude's crazy.
But...
Well, maybe he knew Data's wireless frequency or something then. Maybe Data's got a very specific Wi-Fi password and only Sung and Lore know it.
Geordi here is wireless, we know that, because he also gets possessed a couple times.
That's a lot. That's, besides him being bad with women, that's like his O'Brien suffering. That's all he does is get mind controlled.
Yeah. Data and Geordi, why are both of these people in control of the engineering section?
It's really irresponsible.
Geordi's not wireless. I mean, I know he gets hacked so many times, but
his visor is wireless.
Right. But in other words, like the fact that he has those sensory inputs that go right to his brain just shows that like you need some kind of physical connection to make that go on. But yeah, the Duras sisters hijack it in Generations. Our chat has discussed this many times.
But in the mind's eye, that Klingon evil guy, he's sending wireless signals continually throughout the episode.
Yeah, that's how they figure him out.
Wow. Very interesting. But that was like cutting edge.
You would think that like they would pen test Geordi's visor after they figure out, hey, we can make it transmits video signal back to us. What if they do it in the opposite direction? Like, maybe we should shut down that hole.
Oh yeah, that time they actually hook Data or Geordi's visor up to the view screen.
Yeah.
And what was it? Season 1?
Yep.
I have a radical theory.
Oh, yeah.
Go for it.
Glory, I
True,
think
true,
was the
true.
episode.
Yeah.
I
Brilliant.
think
What's
that,
your radical theory?
I love our chat.
I think Starfleet does not use firewalls because that would be like raising shields on first contact. It's a sign of distrust.
Okay.
Perhaps they have a completely open system, and that's why they're constantly being hacked.
So it is kind of implied that they do have a completely open system. The first indication that we get of that is in the last episode of the first season when the one 20th century dude wants to talk to somebody about his stocks and he messes with the computer and actually uses it. And Picard waltzes in on them and says, "Those panels are for Starship personnel only. Don't touch them." Like, you shouldn't have to tell them that. It just shouldn't work for them.
Oh, yeah.
On a
like
starship, there's no need for such executive keys.
We don't need security. That's why we don't have cameras. That's why we don't get a notification when the most important person on the ship instantaneously vanishes. Trust.
By the way, Linux and other open source software is usually more secure than proprietary software because they've been tested by MIDI and stuff.
Yeah, these guys are using Windows XP. Everything's open.
They haven't updated the OS in like 400 years.
Yeah, they only update when they go to space dock.
That's why the UI is so unusable, because it's from the 80s. They never update it. That's why none of the screens make any sense anymore.
I've been clicking postpone for many, many, many years.
Remind me later.
Again, I don't want to be...
What is that pyramid in front of them?
That's a little game they can play. I don't remember how the game works, but it's a game you could actually buy.
Oh, this is the scene that makes Picard bad.
I don't want to be too pedantic or be that guy, but the Lacar's interface by Michael and Denise Okuda are really they were called the Okudagrams, but really they were very beautiful for the aesthetic and for the feel of the show, and just
but totally unusable.
Like so when I was a kid, I was totally like enamored by it. Like it's just so realistic. I mean, it just seems so futuristic. How at the time anyway, how the future would be interfaced. It's just like a totally new interface. I had to love it, and he was Okuda and his wife. They were also instrumental to many Starship designs and many projects like the Star Trek Encyclopedia, and basically they worked on every show. They were really important. The show.
So yeah, that line about Romulan cyberneticists has some different implications now that we've seen Picard.
Yeah, it made a lot of people angry.
I mean, I don't think it's that big a deal because it is kind of just a throwaway line in one episode. But I don't know. We can just say this line, that one line was retconned.
See, now, apparently they have simulations of the Romulan homeworld, but they don't know what their unit of measures are.
Maybe the computer's just being snarky.
It's a wonderful simulation of Romulus, but it's 72 degrees Fahrenheit. We don't know what to do with it.
Is it possible Riker set the replicator just to be difficult like that?
I guess
if anyone, it was probably Worf. Yeah. Worf has a complicated relationship with replicators.
See, the first time I heard the Onkian thing, I figured, like, why isn't Romulus sharing their basic measurement systems with the Federation? Why do they not know that?
They're just that secretive. They're so sneaky. I still have no idea what this guy's original fake name was. I just know he's Admiral Jarok.
Ronan in the chat points out that Romulan cyberneticists is a big contradiction to the Picard series, which establishes that Romulans were too scared to ever establish AI.
Yeah, that line... the line about Romulan cyberneticists kind of got retconned, but it was just one throwaway line in one episode. It's not a huge deal.
Yeah, there are some Star Trek fans who are incredibly picky about sticking with continuity, and like, there's no such thing as continuity in Star Trek. There are so many contradictions.
I just don't worry about it at all. Continuity isn't a thing for me in this show anymore.
I mean, there was a good deal. I mean, you're right though. The warp scale was always recalibrated without anyone explaining it.
Can we just take a moment to appreciate that Picard is dealing with someone that he believes to be an enemy of the state, and he's being polite and cordial and straight with him. And Nog had to ask Cisco for permission to go to Starfleet, and he damn near got interrogated.
Yeah. I mean, difference in personality. Captain Cisco, we know, is racist against Ferengi in the first place, and he's also a very passionate man.
Passionate, yes.
Yeah, of the Starfleet captains we have, there could not be two more different than Cisco and Picard.
Picard never hit me. It's not a massacre, Captain. It's not a massacre. Come on.
We just encountered more resistance than we had expected.
Maybe you should have had better defenses if you didn't want to get butchered. That seems like your fault.
Yeah, I mean, you knew we were here. Like, come on. Obviously, we're going to take your stuff.
When did this even happen? Because they haven't had major contact with the Romans for like 100 years before the start of the series. When were the Norcan campaigns?
I mean, I guess they were particularly bad campaigns, and stories are still told of them half a generation after the wars.
But it was Admiral Jarok. It can't have been that long ago.
Right?
Don't they live as long as Klingons? Klingons. You know what I mean.
Vulcans.
Yeah, they should be able to hit around like 180, right?
So, like, Star Trek wants us to think of these space nations as siloed off from each other and everything, but in reality, like in any intergalactic society, Federation, Klingon, Romulan, Cardassian, etc., would all have like non-aligned groups of people that would be moving in between those systems at any particular time, like traders and just general commerce. It would still happen because it still happens on our own planet, like with our nations that we don't like. You know, like we still do business with a lot of them.
I'm guessing
happen. So like there would be people who would be crossing borders and telling stories about things they'd seen in the Romulan Empire and so on and so forth.
And how to convert to Onkians.
And how to convert to Onkians, yeah, that would be freely available information between all of them.
Something's wrong.
They didn't, when they were writing these shows, they didn't have a concept of something like the internet where information would be exchanged freely, but you know there is some kind of galactic internet. So, like, all of this information would be relatively easy to get as long as it wasn't, like, state secrets.
Actually, yeah, now that you mention it, all of their vital information is always referenced as like, oh, we have to check the Starfleet computer back at Memory Alpha on Earth, or, you know, we're going to have to get an update from the space station when we dock in order to get the next batch. It's interesting. Yeah, no, there was no Google.
Sorry, just Bing it. Just ask Jeeves.
Bing is the future. Ask Jeeves would have been more accurate, actually, for the time.
Also, Vista.
So another video that could be done is There Comes a Time. Because that happens like
There Comes a Time.
Times. Like,
well, I can tell you exactly how many if you give me just a second. I mean, we're kind of making fun of all of Star Trek in general here, but this is actually a very nice, very dramatic, very serious moment. Admiral Jarok making an actual sacrifice to try and preserve his people. There comes a time, find all. Okay, it's searching.
Are you looking at the scripts for all the series?
For everything through Enterprise.
Because I know it happens a lot in DS9.
This literally only found 2 examples. Oh wait, I think I made it case sensitive. Hang on, it might be at the start.
And they were really playing up the Romulan threat before they unveiled the Borg on us.
There are 8 examples of them saying there comes a time in all of Star Trek.
No.
Through Enterprise.
There's got to be more than that.
I mean, I have the scripts, and that's what it says.
They were cliche. They were cliche. They weren't that cliche.
Could have been variants like there must come a time or something like that.
Can you leave the writers of the show alone?
No.
Absolutely not.
They wrote something that was compelling. Like these season 3 writers, especially right here, man, they wrote something that created over $1 billion of merchandise value to the parent corporation that we care.
I know, and they've given us this
very...
wonderful, wonderful gift of inconsistencies and consistencies that we get to pick apart, and we appreciate that gift to the universe every day.
So there are 8 examples of comes a time, and there's 1 instance of come a time. So 9 in total.
They weren't they weren't original, but they were pretty good at spinning.
For some reason, I remember Cisco saying that like 20 times.
Cisco says it a total of 3 times. There comes a time when a house has been so damaged by termites. There comes a time when you must accept the orders of a superior officer. There comes a time in every man's life when he must stop thinking and start doing.
Wow.
To what, Easy Commander Riker? Did you just swear in my Star Trek, in my Next Generation?
That blue shirt that just walked in looks older than Picard.
I was just about to say that looks like Lieutenant Picard.
Yeah, my grandpa just walked into the scene.
I always feel kind of bad for people who are clearly like in their 70s or 80s on the ship who are still ensigns.
Yeah.
It's like, what happened in your career?
Wasn't Picard barely...
Yeah, he was a lieutenant in Tapestry, I think.
Okay, so he made it up a little bit.
He was still pretty... He's still pretty old in that episode. Actually, no, he's only like 40-something, isn't he?
I think he's supposed to be 60-something, but he's 40... Like, the actor is 42, but he's playing
Patrick Stewart just looks old.
Future man. Yeah.
He was the same age as he was when he was captain. He was just JG.
Oh, yeah, it was... a couple of years ago, he said, like, I'm as old today as... Like,
Patrick Stewart was when he started filming.
Yeah. I'm thinking Will Wheaton, never mind.
Yep, Will Wheaton. Wesley Crusher, for anyone who doesn't know the actor's name.
From Stand By Me.
Nelvana 3, no base, no weapons, no sign of any life at all.
There was also an episode of Crypt Keeper that had Sloane in it. For Tales from the Crypt.
Deputy Director Sloane, you say?
Romulan sideburns.
You know, Will Wheaton also played Todd Lincoln in some movie about Lincoln, Abraham.
What else is Sloane in? He's in... Oh yeah, he's the evil guy in Shawshank Redemption. Well, one of the evil guys. I mean, it's a prison.
He wasn't evil. He was just a prisoner.
Well,
the really evil guy in Shawshank Redemption was the
warden,
who was also Benjamin Maxwell, by the way.
Oh, that music kicked up.
Yeah.
Yes, he was. Well, specifically, I know most of the prisoners are just kind of there, but this guy specifically, I think, would be fair to say is evil. He was the guy who had certain physical relations with our main character in the showers. I'm pretty sure. I mean, it's been a while since I've seen the movie, but I think that was his role.
Family friendly.
Oh no! No, wait. I'm thinking of the guy who is in who was a murderer later in this series. Shower guy was the guy. Do you guys remember the episode where someone commits suicide and Troy has this Troy almost commits suicide? Yeah, that telepathic episode. That evil guy was the shower guy.
Oh, the creepy betazoid?
I specifically remember in Shawshank Redemption, the guy who plays Sloane as being friendly with the main character.
Sloane was cool. Sloane was cool in there. Never mind. Sloane's fine.
Do we meet any betazoids besides the Troy family that aren't completely evil or damaging to the ship and its crew?
One that I can think of. It's in the very late TNG with the The episode where oh no, I'm thinking incorrectly.
It's hard to even tell who's a Betazoid without getting a close-up of him.
They do always bring it up near the end of the episode as a plot point, like that creepy guy that everyone hated last
Lawn-suiter.
TNG. Yeah, that guy. Every episode near the end is
Oh,
like,
no,
oh
sorry.
yeah, I've been a Betazoid the whole time.
Last TNG. TNG guy was... I don't know his name. We know who you're talking about. This awful guy.
Yeah.
Did the Romulans have to be such slimy liars? Like,
Yes.
is there?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
You can just tell when you can just tell when they're talking. They're like, "Oh, oops, did I?"
If they're
Yeah,
talking,
Lawn-suiter
they're
was the
lying.
evil Betazoid. Well, I don't know if he was evil. He was a murderer, but he also was a murderer because he had, like, some mental condition. He was the Betazoid murderer from Voyager.
Oh yeah, Lawn-suiter.
Yeah. Who also plays Grima Wormtongue.
Yeah, that's Brad Dourif. He's an incredible character actor.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, I like him.
So there is one Betazoid who's just like a side character. He's a friend of the Troys.
So we
in
get
the episode-
one.
in the episode where they kidnap Deanna Troi and Loxana Troi. Ferengis kidnap them. But other than that, I can't think of one.
Oh, Faint
That
Signal
is
says
like-
Stady from the pilot of Voyager was a friendly Betazoid. I don't know who
Yeah,
that is,
Stady,
but
she was the helm person on the Voyager before
and did
it got
she
taken
died?
to the Delta Quadrant, and she's immediately killed.
Okay. Yeah, it's just unless I'm specifically looking for it, I'll almost never notice a Betazoid because their only thing is their black eyes.
Yeah, but like, just what I mean is if they bother to give the alien character a name and it's a Betazoid,
Right, if they
they're
talk
almost
about
always Like besides Vulcans, I don't think we get any empaths that don't at least unintentionally harm everyone around them.
Maybe that species in Voyager that just purges all the telepaths, maybe they had a point. Maybe we should just be purging the telepath Xenos.
As far as I can tell, they've been trouble in this show.
I like the music switching every time it goes from Picard to Tomlock to Picard.
I appreciate that composed music. We lose that soon.
Those are big ass birds of prey, by the way.
Well, those aren't... Oh, those ones. Oh, yeah, those are... Are they supposed to be like a third the size of the Enterprise?
Yeah, they're not very big normally. Those are massive.
And those are like as big as the Enterprise now.
I could totally see the Romulans just having like a Vengeance class where it's just their best ship but bigger. That 3/4 screen.
Yeah, Wei-Yun was totally right. Romulans are so predictably treacherous. Well, this worked itself out. The one time a Federation ship is able to enter and pass through the neutral zone without war. One time.
I just noticed the old guy in the blue uniform is wearing the newer one with
Is
the
he?
stripe.
Oh no, he's wearing an old thing.
Yeah, he's got.
No, he's got that
I noticed-
stripe along the black line. You
Yeah,
can only see it in that last shot.
I did notice a stripe, but he doesn't have the Mandarin collar.
Such a weird transition period with the unit. Yeah, there's a new one again. Or is that the new one or is that the old one with the lines on the collar?
Mine's on the collar's older.
Okay, the old blue dude had an older one then.
Blue lady in the background, who is not Nurse... Why do I want to say Woshikun? That's not a Woshikun. The nurse from TNG.
I'm pretty sure it was Ogawa. Yeah, it was
Ogawa.
a Japanese name.
Yeah, that was not Nurse Ogawa in the background. I don't know who that was.
They almost cast her, Ogawa, to play Keiko.
Would that have made Nurse Ogawa and Chief O'Brien getting together?
Yeah, would
Yeah.
it have been the same character? I think I would have been okay with that.
I do have some concerns about Nurse Ogawa's relationships, because there's one episode, I think it's Lower Decks, where like she thinks a guy is cheating on her, and then they kind of drop it and don't bring it up again, but I still think that she was being cheated on in that episode.
Why?
Because they never address it. She gets like, oh, she was hanging out with this guy and they were doing this thing alone and he won't tell me about it and he lied about where he was. And then they just never resolve it.
Well, Ogawa didn't figure that out. Crusher noticed it. But she never told Ogawa.
Right, that was what it was. It's like, no, you need to tell Ogawa. That is information she needs to know. That is highly relevant. She was being lied to. Alright, so the next episode is going to be The Hunted. All the episodes today are going to start with the for some reason.
I
The
think most of
Hunted.
them do.
Yeah, The Defector, The Hunted, and The High Ground. Every series has its own fancy naming schemes. TNG just has the things.
It's like Seinfeld. Every episode starts with the.
Or
I
Friends.
remember season 1 of Discovery, I really didn't like the naming schemes. They were like these 10-word long Latin things that were just impossible to remember. They've gotten a lot better at that, though.
Work in
The names-
television licensing, and I was working on this old TV show, Heart to Heart, and every episode has the word heart in it incorporated. And like, it's funny because the later seasons, like, they're really forcing the puns. It's kind of
Okay.
embarrassing.
Did
Isn't there
Discovery
an
Season
episode
2
of,
also have the impossible names? No, Discovery Season 2 is better at naming.
I think there was an episode of
I
Deep
think they
Space
got
Nine. It
better.
was like Honus Aram Strata Denimers. It was just like a Latin sentence.
Inter Arma Einum Seelen Legis.
There
Yeah,
you
that's
go,
the one.
Yes.
Alright, 10 seconds, everyone. Press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. Oh, the Yorkie's awake. Hey, Annie, how's it going? I'm not talking to you
Everyone say
guys, I'm
hi,
talking to
Annie.
the dog. She ain't going anywhere, she's just... Where did the shepherd go?
This looks
Oh, there
like
it is.
Cardassian architecture almost.
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, it's this one, right?
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
the planet
that-
where everybody is men and they're all wearing onesies.
And that's First
Cromwell's
Contact
here.
guy, that's... Yeah.
Zephyr
James-
That's Zephyr Cochrane.
Yeah.
I think
James
this is his
Cromwell
first
will
appearance
do
in Star
anything
Trek.
Star Trek if they give him the opportunity.
Doesn't he appear in TOS?
I only know that I've seen him in Deep Space Nine. He plays an alien.
Well, let me just look him up on IMDb right quick. Let's see, Star Trek First
wouldn't be
Contact, of
surprised.
course. Star Trek Enterprise, Star Trek Deep Space Nine,
Yeah,
Next
his first
Generation.
credit
Even on Enterprise,
as
he
an
plays
actor-
Cochrane again.
His first credit
Yeah.
as an actor is in 1974, which is after the end of TOS.
Oh,
Throughout the year in '69.
He
Well,
will
we
show
got
up
him as
again in
Cochrane's
TNG though. He's gonna play Shrek in TNG later on.
Yeah, that's a Uridian.
No, Shrek is an ogre. Iridians don't have layers. Well, actually, they kind of do. They're very wrinkly.
Michael Westmore described the Iridians as trying to create a giant hairless mouse.
I can see that.
See,
He'd,
I don't even need to look it up now, and I know exactly what you're talking about.
yeah, now I'm just thinking of the guy who transformed into a rat from Harry Potter. Kind of like that. I don't know his name.
I used
The
to know his
evil
name,
guy.
and I am struggling.
I think his name doesn't it have rat in it.
Nah, that's too easy. That's too easy. It was definitely like
It's a
Horned
children's
Lord or
book. It's
something.
supposed to be easy.
Well, yeah, it
his animal name was Wormtail,
Hang on, let me just look up Harry Potter rat guy.
but the character's name was Peter Pettigrew.
Peter Pettigrew, or Scabbers. Yeah, he could play a Uridian. And excuse me, Jen, Uridian is spelled with a Y, not a U. Thank you. Or thank Y, rather.
Data does a really good job this episode.
Every time Data's in command, things go perfectly. Just like
It's amazing. I love it.
he really should have his own ship. He's so good at it.
Doesn't he canonically like become a ship later?
I know Barclay becomes a ship later.
People are like the crew is often prejudiced against him because they're like, "Can you make this decisions regarding human lives.
Oh yeah, hang on. Didn't we make a big stink about letting the computer fly the ship, and now there's a computer flying the ship?
Yeah, don't worry about it. This computer has a face, so it's fine. Wow, Picard, you're really
I feel
relying on
sorry
your
for you.
technology to save you instead of your skill. Eluded the Enterprise, not eluded Data? Wow.
That would have been a much better line.
You know, I think I actually would appreciate it if he said eluded Data.
Yeah, like I could
It's like,
believe
yeah,
the eluding, but Data?
It's like in the episode where Data plays stratagem against the guy with the face flaps.
Oh yeah, face flap guy.
It's like, how did you beat Data? How did Data lose?
Oh,
all
like they
people.
just straight did the deep blue strategy with that.
The Zachdorn.
The Zachdorn. But yeah,
Yes.
what was the guy's name? It doesn't matter what his name was. His name was Face Flap Guy. That's how I remember people. I don't remember their names. I just remember facial features. He's Face Flap
Face
Guy.
flap the Zachdorn. What
Okay,
year
Cole
was
Romney.
that?
That sounds right.
What year was the deep blue chess thing? How close was that to that episode?
Don't know. Let me Google it. Deep Blue
That was
Chess Thing
97
year.
when Deep Blue beat Gary Kasparov. So this was
Right.
probably 1990, well before it.
Interesting. And so Data technically beat the Zachdorn the same way that Deep Blue beat the chess guy a few years later. Cool.
Google is such a good platform. Look at this. Deep Blue Chess Thing year, 1997. Got it instantly. Google is such a good search engine.
They put work into it, man.
But
I just appreciate. I can Google
Yeah.
anything and it'll know what I'm talking about.
I think that
Yeah,
company's
off the
really
top of
going
my
to make it.
I think they're going to be okay.
Facebook's in trouble though.
I don't know about that.
But now it's not cool to say I don't use Facebook. Now that's the normal thing.
All right.
I was hating Facebook before it was cool. Is he, though? Is he prone to bouts of uncontrolled violence? I don't think that's true. He's actually pretty chill.
Except for stunning Chief O'Brien or whatever. Or tackling him, I guess. No, wait, he's
I'm pretty sure they attack him.
Riker's thinking.
Sensors, not sensors, sensors. Data says
Data
sensors.
does it right.
Sensor.
I
'Cause
forget,
he's a
does Captain
computer, he
Picard
knows how
say
to do
sensor
this.
or sensor as a Brit? He goes with a lot of American
Sensor.
pronunciations in the show.
I think he has a very light sensor.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. He's prone to bouts of controlled, calculated violence. I think that's fair.
by the
Yep.
time we get to season 7, it's universally sensors. There's no sensors.
I remember Picard saying sensors at least one. I have that voice line going around in my head, but I don't know what it's from.
Hey, it's a Cliff Bowl episode. They did a sensors gag near the end of Lower Decks.
Right, they did.
Yeah, Mariner was making fun of the Admiral for saying it like that.
It's like nobody says sensors, Admiral. What are you talking? Sensors, come on, sensors.
Oh, come on, Wesley. You could have thought of that yourself.
They bounce off
Don't
the
act
atmosphere like
surprised.
5 times. You can bounce off anything.
Boy, here comes the fun bit, trying to match up with the wherever the
Oh,
hell you guys
boy.
are at. That's the
We're at
fun part.
7:33, 34.
There he goes.
Just
All
give
right, tell
Data
me
the
when you
chair.
get
He's
to-
so much better at this than you, Picard.
Just tell me. What did you say?
That was the most surprised I think
We're-
I've ever seen Picard look. I anticipated.
What was
We're
the
at
time?
7:52, 7:53, 7:54,
Okay, tell me the moment it gets to 8, and I will click and boom,
58,
shakalaka.
59, 8.
Oh, get in on anything large enough. That's a line.
Great place to start.
Wait, did they say why they can't beam the entire thing to like a shuttle bay?
Picard said he'd do that, but I guess Data found a better way.
Well,
And could
they
they
were
not
talking
lock
about-
a tractor beam on it? I wasn't paying attention for a few seconds. I lost some of the dialogue. Can they not tractor it? Oh no, they did tractor, didn't they?
Yeah, let's see. who
Yeah, they did
attacked
grab it.
here.
That sounded very assertive, sir.
Oh, yeah,
There
they
was
attacked
a bit
him
of a
first.
delay. Like,
Did
he
he
pulled
just
out his
Red
weapon.
Rover them?
Oh no!
That man just did a flying dual arm bar into those two guys.
Maybe one of
Where's
these
the
guys
bomb
should just
punch?
grab the gun again.
Do they not have like a taser on them? I feel like in the future they'd have more tasers.
I like
They
how
have
the
them.
transporter pad is.
No, we've
how
discussed
bad that
this.
stunt guy is. Not even
Infinite
close.
trust. No tasers. They have one
O'Brien.
tool. They don't
Ah,
expect to
there
ever
it is.
use it.
Yeah, I did
Do
notice
they
the
get,
transporter platform flexing down when they were moving across it.
Like a nightstick would be fine.
Do you think screaming gets paid as much as words for acting as an extra?
Probably.
And you have to.
I think you just get paid the same amount.
I think
matter
it's
what.
a line. Yeah, if you have a scripted line. I know that there was
is a
one
line.
movie where. Yeah, there was one movie where someone just kind of drove through the background and screamed an insult at the main actor, and they're like, "Wait, I love this. Leave it in. We have to pay him like a full actor now." So I think it's just like
Yeah, it's
You
in
have
Being John
words.
Malkovich.
That
when
was
they
it,
throw
yeah.
the can at him.
Hang on,
Oh,
is
good.
Worf
Oh,
allowed to do
right,
that?
right.
He just set the phaser to maximum and showed it to him.
Yeah,
Can he do
that-
that?
That was
First Blood
definitely
did it
kill.
once.
Wait a second. Isn't that?
That feels like it's
Cochrane?
against policy.
That's just Cochrane with a mustache.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, we covered this.
Well, I
And a
wasn't here.
shower. And a haircut.
I-
And a suit.
Cochrane got stuck in the 1970s.
Yeah, this is what Cochrane looks like when he's cleaned up. I'm trying to identify what those things are in his background. Like that glass or plastic thing on his left.
Yeah.
No, we're not going to see it again.
I guess he got off that planet from the Earth.
Oh, you know we'll see Cochrane again. I mean Cromwell. We'll get to see that screen again.
Cromwell, Cochrane, same person.
And of course, remember the TOS Cochrane? We see Cochrane on some weird planet and he's from Alpha Centauri. Just that whole episode gets retconned. Don't worry about it. Continuity isn't a thing in Star Trek.
So
I
I'm
mean-
wondering how their sensors can see artificial life forms.
Yeah.
I like the data just like shut Picard down. Our computers can detect artificial life forms, sir. I'm one of them.
I mean, wouldn't it just detect a piece of technology? and all
Oh,
the
this is one of the
Who
episodes
knows?
where her stuff works.
But why does
Oh,
Troy's telepathy work, but the ship's sensors don't work?
Because science, that's why. It's space science. Science
They
and
had to-
space.
They had to give her something to do this episode.
They had to prove that she was useful. It happens once in a while. It's rare.
I don't mean that disparagingly. Like, Roddenberry's wife fought really hard to keep her on the show, so she does kind of feel shoehorned in some episodes. The ones where her powers
I
don't
saw
work.
this when I was a kid in the 90s. There was a list being passed around online of on AOL of top 10 things you'll never hear on Star Trek: The Next Generation, and like number one was "Thank you, Counselor Troy."
Ouch.
Jesus.
What could Counselor Troy be doing if they actually used her?
I don't
counselor.
know.
If they actually used
Should
the
be a lot-
character?
I mean, there should be a lot of PTSD on a ship like this.
Probably be the only person that
Holy
Picard
shit, we've
could
been
confide in.
experiencing the same time loop for however long. I'm fucked up.
With the
Or-
near-death experiences every single week?
Oh my
Yeah.
god, yeah, she should have been horrible that episode. That should have been awful.
Starfleet does go through a lot of horrible things, so I'm surprised that there isn't like a ton of quote unquote space money put into, mental health care.
And we don't
The
see her on the
doctor-
bridge that much in terms of just strict runtime. Maybe she just spends hours and hours counseling every single day. Maybe that's what she does. That's her job.
According to Lower Decks, have a whole planet for people who are disabled by mutations and like space-free accidents.
The farm.
That's just the physical stuff, though. That's the weird deformations.
What about all the mental stuff, like Picard being trapped on a planet for an entire lifetime?
With
It was all a
that comes
fantasy.
psychological too.
I'm pretty sure if you gave me a massage, I don't know, I don't have PTSD, but a massage and just a life on the beach, I'd be all right.
Well, consider the episode where they find Thomas Riker, who's been trapped on some asteroid for 7 years by himself in a decaying facility, and he just gets right to work. They don't give him any counseling. They put a uniform on him and assign him a job.
And he turns out so well.
See, this isn't any future. This is 90s future. It means mental health wasn't considered.
Yeah, whatever happened to that guy?
I think he became a terrorist, actually.
Yeah, I think he defected.
Oh, wow. The mentally unstable guy became a terrorist. Who would have guessed?
Again?
Again?
Why do we even let Bajorans join Starfleet?
I mean, it sometimes works out. It worked out maybe for Kira.
I don't think Kira ever formally joined Starfleet. I think she just worked for Starfleet. She did formally join them?
She was given a field commission.
She had to be an official member of Starfleet.
Oh yeah, near the end, right? She's wearing a proper uniform when she's down on Cardassia.
She looks good in it too.
Yes, she does. That's because
everyone looks better in a Starfleet uniform.
Yeah,
like Counselor Troy.
Even Seven,
Counselor Troy. Everyone they try and put into the good-looking, the attractive outfit, they always just look better in a uniform. What's the point?
T'Pol wears a uniform at some point, right? She gets out of that silly cat suit.
She gets out of the cat suit in that episode Twilight when they're doing the alternate version of events where the Earth blows up.
Oh.
Is she in uniform or is she in like regular clothes? Because I remember that they do like a future thing where she's married to Archer and he's old.
Yeah, that's Twilight. She does have a uniform there when they're on the flashbacks on the ship.
Okay, cool.
You know, I don't think I've ever actually seen all of Enterprise. I remember watching the pilot and the last episode.
It's a very slow burn. It's worth it.
Enterprise is great. I love Enterprise.
Was Enterprise your first Star Trek?
No, TNG was.
Okay.
I think I went TNG, DS9, and then either Enterprise or TOS. Probably Enterprise, then TOS, then Voyager.
I was TNG, then Enterprise, Deep Space Nine. I'm still working on Voyager.
TOS, those old scientists, the proper classification.
So my first exposure to Star Trek was Star Trek Insurrection, the movie. I'd seen little bits and pieces of it on TV, but I never saw the beginning, I never saw the ending, and I never saw enough of it at once to understand what the story was. I just saw like Data going in a lake and like a little bit of the space battle. And it was really, really killing me that I had these bits and pieces of a story, but not the whole thing. So I went and watched the entire TNG series to try and find what I thought was an episode. And then it was a movie.
That's amazing.
The entire series.
Oh, so the government. So is the government?
Do they ever say who the Angosians were at war with?
Themselves, I assume.
I think this is revealed later on, and he like James Cromwell's like, oh yeah, these guys were actually just our soldiers. We were having a civil war or something, and we made super soldiers. And you know how everything went with Khan, and we figured we'd try again. You know.
But these people aren't human, are they?
I don't think so.
They just look identical to humans.
That happens a lot, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember, it's because a lot of life shares the same DNA because aliens.
Because of the founders.
Are there Angosians?
They're Angosians, I guess.
I'm sorry, but Angosians and Angosia sounds like a made-up country in Africa.
He's not non-violent.
Like, it's a parody of Angola.
The only reason
Angola and Tunisia together, yeah.
Like the only reason Chief O'Brien is not dead is because he deactivated his weapon. Otherwise, he would have killed an innocent person, the first person he sees on the Enterprise.
Yeah, we can't have O'Brien die. He's the most important person in Starfleet.
That would be too easy for him. He needs to suffer.
He needs to suffer. That's for Deep Space Nine to the side.
I think I just
Yeah.
noticed something silly. The thing on what's his name's left eye, it was painted on his face in that last clip. I think when he was laying down on the bed in the brig, it was a practical piece stuck to his face.
Weird.
Okay.
I think.
Well, maybe they lost the practical piece between shots, so they had to paint it on real quick.
It's possible. It might be for close-ups or something. I don't know. Let's watch. This will be fun, and spotting the different shirts.
Yeah, Voyager was the last one I watched before Discovery came out. This was some time ago. Voyager was the last one I watched because when I started it, I hated it. It took me so long to get through season 1 because I just thought it was awful. I was just forcing myself to watch it.
I think the last season was awful, but anyway, I mean, I'm just glad we talked about nothing about Voyager here.
We all know.
Once I got
Star
to
Trek
the end
is
of season
terrible.
2 and into season 3, then I was able to just binge watch all of it because it got good. But season 1,
We all know the first 2 seasons are always trash.
but season 1 of Voyager,
It wasn't that bad.
I mean, it's
It was
personal
exciting.
preference, but personally, I hated it just completely.
Did you like Kess?
Not really.
Yes.
I don't like
Maybe
any
for-
magical species in Star Trek. I don't like Deanna Troi being empathic. I don't like Vulcans being able to mind weld. I don't like Kess having
But I've
telepathy
got a question for
and
you. What
telekinesis.
does God need with a starship?
What does God need
Yeah.
with a star?
God likes to travel in luxury. What do you want?
Jim, you don't ask the Almighty for ID.
But it does make me wonder, because there are plenty of species that they bump into but never see again that have some form of extreme power. Like, what's that species that possessed Barclay?
That was just the nth degree. So they were the
Cytherians.
Yes, thank you.
Oh yeah, that
Do we
one.
ever see them again, or is it
the
just
guy
like
that-
okay?
No, it's just
We
them.
don't go to
Just
them.
that one.
They come to us. They come to us, so don't worry about it.
Oh yeah, the animated series. That's the last thing I haven't seen. Maybe after we finish DS9, because we'll probably finish that first, we can do the animated series where it's a first watch for me, because that's the only one I don't know.
I'm 100% down for that.
I know there's an inflatable Enterprise in it, and I think there's something to do
inflatable?
with a lava river at one point, but I don't know. That's it.
It's great. It's great.
All
Yeah,
right,
it's
so we got the
silly,
thing.
but it's good.
But they really should have made it canon. But yeah,
I'm looking at the thing, and I can't tell if that's a sticker or paint.
Oh, it's definitely painted on right now.
Yeah, that's paint.
Yeah.
It might have been particularly reflective in that one shot that I saw. I may have just seen that wrong. It also probably rubs off between takes, so let's be honest.
Must have just been a trick of the light.
Yeah,
Is it
maybe-
possible
Reflective
it's like latex stuck on or something? Like it's adhesive to them, but it's not paint itself.
that is
Well, maybe-
possible.
Maybe they started shooting scenes out of sequence and they used an actual prop, but it was too much of an inconvenience, so they got rid of it and just used paint instead afterwards.
Yeah, I don't want to desync and go
Possible.
back, but I remember one shot. It looked really reflective, but he was also tossing and turning in the the brig bed, so he might have been sweating.
Oh,
I was thinking
the animated series also has
you're right,
those
it did look good.
cat people in the pink uniforms, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, the
Alright.
Cations.
What the hell is that logo supposed to be?
oh, the Cations are different. This is
No, I'm thinking of the Kazinti, I think.
It's the Avengers
Kazinti,
Tower.
Yes, they were. Yes, thank you. And yeah, they were pink, but only because the illustrator was colorblind. The
Yeah.
color artist colorblind. But great writing though.
That
Well, I'll
symbol
find
is
out
just
in
like their
about
planetary
6
symbol.
months.
Yeah, but
Well,
all
this is
symbols have
another one of those
representation.
episodes, just like the one with Cisco going back in time. God, I can't even remember.
Far Beyond the
guy's-
Stars?
No, the riots. Gabriel Bell.
Oh, past tense.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like the one where my professional experience colors my view of the episode, because not to get into the actually, but I have a completely different view of Roga Danar now, and I haven't seen this episode in years. But he's violent, and even at the end of the episode, spoiler alert, he asked them to raise their weapons just so that he can like killed him.
Yeah.
You can't have a person like that in society. Imagine he gets pulled over in a speeding ticket. And like,
I mean, it's all obviously a parable for Vietnam veterans, right?
I would imagine.
I think this is one of those things where the Star Trek analogy just breaks down, because instead of it being a human that can change his ways, it's like a species that's always been this way and will never not be this way.
Yeah,
except for Quark.
And this is one of the things that Star Trek like does a lot, and I understand that why from storytelling point, but they make it seem like a planet like this or a time like in Gabriel's Bell time that people just don't care, and that's not true. It's not that they don't care; it's just that they don't know. Like, there's nothing that they can do about it.
Well, there's no internet in Star Trek, so nobody knows.
Yeah, sometimes like you do some programming or you make some mistakes and you don't know how to get out of it. You know, whether that's economically you don't know or scientifically you don't know, or whatever.
That's not through lack of trying.
Yeah, it's not through lack of trying or lack of caring.
I mean, in this case, it's a lack of trying.
Yeah, because Cromwell doesn't give a shit, but
yeah, he didn't try.
Oh, I don't know. Like I said, I haven't seen this episode in years.
But yeah, lots of people in general do try, yes, or do what they can. But
yeah, I mean, he says all like other avenues have been explored already in this episode.
It does sound like he was trying, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like he was trying, or they have tried in the past.
This isn't like the episode where Beverly gets kidnapped by the terrorists and the authority is just blatantly like, no, these are subhumans. They will never be. Cromwell's kind of thinking about giving him a chance. A little, I think.
It's more of a government that needs a solution quickly. They want to help, but they don't know how they can help.
And I've worked with a lot of veterans. I've definitely diagnosed my fair share. But if you have PTSD, for example, to the point where like even normal actions can make you hypervigilant and murderous, what do?
You do space medicine is what you do.
Yeah,
space medicine. Gotta use your space science.
Or yeah, like being in a mental health facility, where you can have daily care, like that kind of stuff, I guess.
Or we can get that prison thing from O'Brien's episode and just give them 40 years of therapy in like an hour.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's stuck for the prison planet.
Closest we're gonna get is the Daystrom Institute.
The prison VR set. The prison Oculus.
Yeah, there you go.
Did you really have to drop that field? Couldn't you have dropped any containment fields like around the edge of the cell? Why the door?
Maybe it's a Faraday cage, except for that. I'm really, that doesn't.
How does this work?
That's a good question. Yeah.
He doesn't. There are so many questions about how the transporter works.
Yeah.
Why is O'Brien the only one that wasn't blown back? He wasn't.
Where did he go?
Because he's not
O'Brien
there.
was in the transporter room, wasn't he? Wasn't he in a different room?
Oh yeah, you're right. My bad.
I feel like
he doesn't suffer.
That was a weird cut.
So how do you just like Tai Chi your way through a transporter beam?
I have no idea.
By being Rogadaren.
Why would he materialize somewhere else? The transporter has to actually work to materialize him.
Well, the transporter can't actually see him. They're just telling the transporter to beam anything that looks like a solid object in this space. So they maybe he might be able to do it that way. It's really weird.
It's space science.
But even if you can disrupt the transporter beam, how would he get the transporter to materialize him somewhere else where he wants to be?
Very artistic shot for Star Trek, I gotta say.
I feel like if this episode ended up a different way, they would we would know him more better as just Next Generation's Khan. Because I feel like if this episode went a different way, he would just be an antagonist that shows up later. Like literally just Khan.
Yeah.
They're not on yellow alert or anything. They have no idea where he is. Okay.
We don't need yellow alert. We're playing the dramatic music. That's the same thing.
Planned. Oh, they're playing him.
Oh, the dog sees something outside. I can't see what from here, but...
Worf's security partner has an old uniform.
I don't know if you can hear the barking. The dog that's the German Shepherd is Uther. And the Yorkie that's making me perch on my chair because she's laying behind me is Annie.
Nice.
He almost died. He just diffused a bomb. That was huge.
That was calm.
Pretty good.
He just walked
Worf's-
up, whatever.
Good job, Worf. You did actually something for
That was
security.
intense.
Wait, why was he looking at the wall when there's only one way for him to be coming from?
Unknown
We needed-
voice, who is that? Why are
He
you
needed
telling
the
me?
advantage to do the double hammer fist.
That was a really strong hammer fist too. That was like a club.
Yeah, he critted on that one.
That would have beat the Gorn.
The dogs Worf and Soji. Okay. Does Soji actually exist? Is Soji a real dog or is that a fake dog?
How did he get there so quickly?
I love
Like,
that. Oh man.
Is your dog Soji like from that robotics company that has the robot dogs that they kick around? And of course, we know that Soji wears regulation black socks. It's very important to her character.
I mean, how would he even know
How
to
does
do
Danar
this?
know so much about?
About Federation technology?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's a soldier.
Completely open network. Everything is clearly labeled. This button destroys the ship. This button disables security. This button turns off the transporter.
But
Complete
which-
trust.
I'm in a new building. I don't even know where the bathrooms are. But he goes. Like,
But you're not
straight-
Roga Danar.
Yeah, but like he escapes from jail and knows where.
Everything's labeled. You just can't see it because it's really low res because this was filmed in the 80s.
So what's his plan right now? I'm not quite sure.
Maybe he's threatening to shoot the warp core.
I think it's just gonna like jack a ship.
Wait, what do you mean
Why
the
not
shuttle
the-
bay is inactive? There's no physical door on it. No, there is.
I mean,
This is a Jeffries tube. This is massive.
I thought the Enterprise did have a
Yeah.
physical door.
Yeah, no, it does. It does. Never mind. Yeah,
Yeah,
what,
right.
where is he
Door.
right now?
This is the first appearance of the Jeffries tubes before they made them that tiny set.
Are you sure that wasn't Deep Space Nine? Because that looked Cardassian to me.
No, those are a reuse of the maintenance tunnels from Star Trek V.
Okay.
It's a good thing Jordy found
Oh
those.
shit. Okay.
Okay, so they all.
Yeah, you're
woke
right
up-
though. With the rounded doorways, it does look very Tarak Noir.
Tarak Nor. This is not a Kardashian.
No, it just like design wise, there's a similarity. But
It was very
that's
similar.
where it ends.
Listen here. It's Deep Space Nine or it's space dust.
Look, I'm sticking with my Cardassian terms. All right.
Is there ever an episode where Cisco threatens to
You
blow
know,
up
one
the station?
bit of canon that I would like to see is Captain LaForge. I think that would be really interesting.
That's
Don't
really
We
cool.
see him a little bit.
Forge?
I know.
Cardassian airlock.
But yeah, we
wanna
could
see
use more Captain LaForge.
I feel like
Out of everyone in like the TNG episodes, I think he's the one that would have gone all the way to captain.
If you
Yeah.
follow what is technically canon, the comics leading up to the JJ verse, Data puts his brain into B4 and takes over as the computer of a ship piloted by or captained by Geordi. So if you want to read the Countdown comics, that is there.
all right,
It
gotta
exists.
look at some colorful papers then.
I believe it's called Countdown, but it's the prequel comic to the reboot movies, and it's Picard and Geordi, and it's that side, and it's Spock going into the wormhole thing with the jellyfish.
His
Oh,
true
yeah.
destination remains a mystery. Thanks, Data. We were talking you up a little bit ago. Now you're not helping at all.
I mean, they can tell when they're accessing the panel, and Data seems to have full control of the
blue
ship
shirt in the
here.
back.
Can he have it so it shocks him or something?
He doesn't.
Maybe
seem to
we
be
could
able to
just-
feel pain.
Could we just evacuate all the air from sensitive areas like the cargo bays and the shuttle bays? That way you definitely can't leave.
Ah, that's true.
Knock him out from oxygen deprivation. That should work.
Given
If
the
you guys have
episode,
played
he probably should
FTL,
have that.
evacuating air from rooms solves everything. They should really just vent the rooms. It works great. You're in space.
Yeah,
Like,
as
maybe
soon
we
as you
should-
remember that works, you get the guys that don't care about that though.
Yeah.
So
Every
for
time.
the chat, I definitely that's one thing I want to see, not in a creepy way, but like waste extraction, space waste extraction. Do they have like a 3 she cells type thing, like in the was it
They have a sonic bidet.
Sonic bidet? That's awesome.
We do know they have sonic showers, so it makes sense.
It's
Exactly.
the next logical step.
No,
See,
you're
this
right.
like in. If you guys remember Star Wars Episode 1 where they try and gas Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, it's like, yeah, that amount of gas would work very well for a regular person, but Dano's not a regular person. Just keep gassing him.
Yep.
It's not enough.
I'm surprised they
hold
don't
his
have
breath
like
for
that sort
20
of gas
minutes.
thing.
They're
throughout the
still
rest of the
holding
shoot.
their phasers like they're gonna do something.
Well, you got to turn up the setting.
Quick, if we all shoot him at the same time, he might start sweating. It'll get kind of warm.
Don't cross
Yeah,
the beams.
Just turn it up. Don't put it on bloody lowest setting of stun. Ah, yes, that was a very thorough search, Mr. Worf. Thank you. Sorry, Mr. Rozhenko. Well, I guess
What a
that gets rid
badass.
of the vent the air issue.
I mean, if he's on the outside of the ship, just go to warp. Just warp one. It should work.
Now, is this a distraction, or do we get to see him on the outside of the ship? I don't remember how this turns.
There he is.
No.
No spoilers.
Worf couldn't smell him, really?
That's racist. What do you mean, smell him?
You don't think
I-
Klingons have a better sense of smell than we do?
And Gosian smelled delicious.
I mean, they do have 4 nostrils, so,
Oh,
you know,
he
maybe.
did know.
Oh, okay, he knew.
I feel like it would have been better if he had the bat lift with him.
That's a
Okay, but if
compliment. I
Worf
stand
knew, why didn't he
corrected.
keep the security guards in with him if he knew he was here?
He didn't want them to get in his way.
Maybe he just
Stun
don't want to feel embarrassed if he was actually wrong.
I mean, he has been defeated by a barrel before.
How often do we get to see a slow motion explosion in Star Trek? Wow.
I mean, all of them, technically.
So why are they called Jeffrey's tubes?
Don't worry about it, that's why.
So I don't know about the in-show reason, but like the actual reason is they named it after one of the art designers, I think.
Oh.
So a barrel just fell onto Worf's
Oh.
back.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's like, Worf, be very careful around those
Oh.
things.
Several more barrels have fallen on top of Worf's
Worf.
back.
Worf, are you
God, he's
okay?
paralyzed again.
How does this even work? How is that phaser powering that? They don't have compatible connections, do they? You can't just, like, USB from the phaser to the control console.
Everything uses the same connector. Complete trust. How many times do I?
Wait, everything uses the same port? Oh god, it's Star
Everything
Wars.
has the support.
This does
Star
actually
Trek and
look
Star
like the
Wars are
inside.
merging.
That looks like the inside of a Star Wars ship. That looked like an
Yeah, that
Imperial
looked
ship.
like a Lambda class shuttle. I could get with that.
Yeah, uniforms, color scheme, everything. That was a first order ship.
I mean, technically, it's only a matter of time before the two merge into one thing, which shall be called intergalactic conflicts as we travel.
The first time I saw this, I actually thought it was really cool that, like, oh, hey, a phaser, something that every single Starfleet officer is going to have on him at all times, is capable of powering massive equipment. What a great design.
And when's the next time that happens?
I think O'Brien uses it to power a radio on the episode where he gets stuck on that planet with Bashir. And he's sick or something. There's like a bio virus or something.
Wait, what's
When he's
O'Brien
like
on
working
that
with the
planet?
Jim Hadar.
There's an episode where O'Brien gets stuck on a planet and he's infected with some sort of bioweapon, and they need to get a radio or a transporter working so they can get a signal back to their ship, which is in orbit but unmanned or something.
I think you're mixing up a couple episodes, because the one where where O'Brien's sick with the harvesters, they're called, they're just trying to contact the government of that planet.
That is the one I'm thinking of. You're right. Yeah. Doesn't he use a phaser to power that radio in that episode, though? I feel like they do. They have a... No?
I don't...
It just turns on at some point.
It just turns on.
Does it even
Very
turn
Star
on? Because the people from the government just find them. Oh no, it does have to, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because the Enterprise finds it
That's
as
how
well.
they find him.
Or not the
Wait, what's
Enterprise, the
going on
shuttle.
right now?
Roundabout.
I didn't quite hear. Are the rebels?
Dr. Cochrane is very upset about everything that's happening.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
So wait, where are they all going?
They're all going down to the planet. So yeah, Roga Danar freed a bunch of the prisoners. And I don't know if they're doing it, but I think they're holding the government hostage.
Oh,
No,
is that
Uther, that's
why?
UPS. UPS is allowed to be here. Relax.
Is that why Roga Danar tried to murder Chief O'Brien? Like the first beginning of this episode?
I think he just tried to murder him because he was in front of him.
Yeah.
Oh
That's what I'm
no!
saying.
They did shoot Roga Danar in the transporter room. It didn't do anything,
Yeah.
but they shot him.
Yeah, they shot him after he pointed his weapon, aimed, and tried to fire, but failed to.
Where's the rest of the security team? Your captain.
What security
Come on,
team?
man. Right. It's all
Picard really does like a mic drop thing here.
Yes, he does.
Moving towards the center of the city. So did they
Like
hold
how
a
their
vote?
planetary symbol looks like a martini.
Okay, let's see if they tried. No, they didn't try. They hypothesized and they didn't actually try it. Did you tell the people that there would be problems when you gave them the stuff? Yes, thank you, Worf. So that's a no. They did not tell them.
Fair enough.
That's kind of messed up, Dr. Cochrane.
I mean, if that is only lying, it is the will of the people.
Troy got to yell at someone this episode. Yeah, I don't think they have any sympathy for these guys. We may need to use them again someday. Wait, what's the rope from? What's the rope even
I have
for?
no
What?
idea. Maybe if they made up noise like a skylight breaks, maybe.
They all
So-
just have the same face tattoo.
Earlier on, they say that they were very well treated in that settlement or prison facility or whatever they're at. Why are all their clothes so tattered?
Well,
To
did
show
the,
that these are damaged soldiers.
They just
did
busted out
the
of prison, right?
soldiers say that they were good, or did Cromwell say that they were treated well? Did the prisoners or
Danar
the
said it.
prisoners?
Danar said it. He said something along the lines of, "No, we're treated very well at Lunar Colony," but I don't remember the exact phrasing. But basically, a golden cage is still a cage, is what he was going for.
I want. If I was gonna be Pony,
I want to make him.
I want some mac and cheese.
I want $3 million and a flight to Guatemala.
We gotta go to Tahiti, Arthur. Start a mango farm.
Yeah. They also said that they're prone to violence and all of that. That doesn't mean that it's against only other people. It's probably been fighting with themselves.
Uther, that's just UPS again. Relax.
You're letting a government be held hostage.
Can you guys hear the barking, or is that being filtered out?
No.
I can't hear it.
I don't
Wow,
hear
that's a
it.
good program. Okay, NVIDIA broadcast the microphone filtering. So that's some solid software.
You literally just interfered.
Their whole plan was to interfere until they decided, no, it wasn't the nice thing to do.
And people wonder why Starfleet Admiralty keeps breaking all the rules and overthrowing the government, or at least trying to.
It happens quite a lot, especially in the early seasons, that the Prime Directive doesn't actually matter as long as it's convenient for the Federation to break it.
Later that
The Federation
day,
only really cares what's best for themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I get. This is one of those episodes, like I said. I get why, it's definitely unethical what they did to the soldiers and all that.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. At the same time, if they were rational people, then there wouldn't have had to be a referendum to keep them separated. It's not like the soldiers come back from winning a war. I would imagine they won.
They
And
did.
then people just hated them because they're soldiers.
No, they said
they
that
were probably pilot.
I think they said that the
That
soldiers
sort of
weren't
thing,
adjusting
so-
back to society.
Still a good episode though. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. No
like
more
it.
no more actually.
I mean, it depends. What's the next step?
The next episode is about terrorists and whether their position is morally defensible.
Let's
Oh,
go to our correspondent on the field, Major Kira, for more information.
Yeah,
Listen, if you want
they
to
like
learn
that
more
theme.
about terrorism, please speak to your nearest Bajoran.
So the next episode
man's
is The
terrorist
High
and another man's
Ground.
hero.
Quick 1 minute timer. The High Ground.
This is the
Yeah,
episode where Crusher orders Worf around, right?
This is the episode where Crusher develops Stockholm Syndrome and orders Worf around, yes.
Man, Worf, horrible parent.
Cool.
Everyone's lapdog.
And the terrorist guy also has really weird hair that I don't know if it's hair dye or if he has, that's just how his hair is.
The
You'll see what I mean when we get to him.
Last episode, incidentally, also about terrorism.
Also about terrorism. We're doing some themes.
Yeah. Storm a capital with guns and demand social change.
Yep, this episode was banned in, I don't know if it was the UK in general. Maybe it was.
Yeah,
but it was
UK in
definitely banned in
general.
Ireland because of the success.
It's,
Hang on, press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. Because they described the IRA as being a successful terrorism movement, and they weren't happy about that.
I don't think it's the UK. I think it might just be Ireland because it's very much available here.
Well, they lifted the ban some time ago.
Yeah, this
It was banned when it
this
aired.
was
Oh,
during the
okay.
Troubles, so.
Going home,
Oh, okay,
British
fair enough.
soldiers, come on home.
Okay, so all these people have the, gray stripe in their hair. Or a lot of them do. Interesting.
It's all premature aging.
Because that's what I was thinking about the terrorist guy. He also has that gray stripe, but I think that... I mean, maybe that's just this species. That's their identifying characteristic, the gray stripe.
Oh! That's some terrorism right there.
I mean, that was a pretty small bomb. That's not that big a deal. They blew up, a door, and that was it.
Oh, so everyone's got the hair to make them look like Pepe Le Pew.
Exactly. Honestly, these people are terrible terrorists. They could have done so much more damage.
Hurry, beam them up, Scotty. Or O'Brien.
Maybe it wasn't about the actual damage. It was more a message of, we're in the city and we can do what we want.
Yeah, terrorism is about creating a culture of fear, not necessarily hurting people.
Here's some space alcohol.
Anyway,
Oh, hey, those are the same mugs they have on the Enterprise. Those same, fluid canisters.
Yep.
With the weird tiered thing on the top. don't know what's up with it.
Maybe that's just the next stage of civilization.
Exactly,
Is getting
Chad.
models that look
Especially
like
unpredictable hurting of people is a great way to create a culture of fear.
Why are there so many air ducts in the background?
It's like a mall food court.
Are they? Is this inside? What's going on? That looks like sunlight.
So this is supposed to be like a city block, but like it's obviously on a soundstage somewhere, so it doesn't actually look like it's outside.
It kind of looks like a mall that has like a big open area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a courtyard inside a mall. That
like a
opens up.
skylight at the very least.
Yeah.
It's like Mayfair Mall in Milwaukee, actually.
I haven't been to any malls that actually have this design, but if you guys remember the game Dead Rising 1, that mall had the mall was a big ring and there was this big park in the middle of it. Maybe it's like that.
Oh yeah.
What I don't get
game.
is
Love that game.
If there may be a bomb nearby, why don't they just beam the people up, heal them, and then beam them back down?
Look like Babylon 5 uniforms.
The police lady doesn't have the gray stripe. She has a dark stripe on the other side of her hair from everyone else. Maybe the women have dark stripes, the men have light stripes.
I think that's probably it.
Or maybe it's because of the hair color. I'm not sure.
Yeah, those look a lot like Babylon 5 uniforms. The like kind of royal blue.
Yeah.
Well, is that the first time a sci-fi piece of
that.
equipment or uniform has been reused?
Oh, of course. I mean,
it's like the upside down transporter from TOS to TNG.
Yeah, but isn't there something like there's a like in the first Star Wars film? Isn't there like a few of the costumes seen at the cantina were reused for Star Trek?
and props obviously get reused a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, what happens in this episode? Dr. Crusher develops Stockholm Syndrome. They talk a lot in a cave, that same cave set. Because they only have the one, as we know. They go and visit the Enterprise for a little bit. And it's very dramatic.
Hey,
and then that brings us to the end.
I had to take a phone call. Could I get a like a verbal cue when as soon as the ship shows up?
As soon as the ship?
Like as soon as the episode starts proper.
Oh, okay.
Like the title. When the title shows up, just let me know so I can cue it up.
Sure. Because right now we're at 452, 453, 454, 455. We're almost done with the intro sequence, but not quite. We're at the very end of it.
Created by Gene Roddenberry.
Created by Gene Roddenberry. Stand by. Now.
The high.
Beautiful, thank you.
It's over, Anakin. Well, I have the high ground.
Oh, hey, this is that episode that I mentioned last episode.
Oh, yeah.
Where Beverly gets abducted by the terrorists.
Exactly. You did
I would love one of these chairs.
It's weird that these two are back to back. I think the last time I watched through this, I had trouble. I confused the two characters with each other because they've got almost the same personalities.
Do those chairs recline?
Riker's does.
I'm not sure if that's Riker's chair reclining or if he's just sitting forward in his chair and leaning back.
He's just kind of leaning.
He's making it lean back, yeah. I don't think it does.
Can he step over those ones?
This guy looks like Gene Wilder, and I can't unsee that. This is Willy Wonka.
Okay.
Kind of looks like Gene Wilder mixed with 90s Mel Gibson.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, this is Willy Wonka in Die Hard.
As a space terrorist.
It's a weapon, yeah.
But then, no, never mind. What is he?
This guy might have the most understated alien uniform ever. It's just like a jacket with a shoulder piece.
Yeah, but what's with the collar of that shirt?
Yeah, is it called a pauldron? Yeah, it's a weird collar.
Yeah, the pauldron.
Yeah, it looks like
not the collar, the shoulder bit.
The collar looks like a tube.
It's like rolled.
So,
Does he have a capelet on it? I'm getting Assassin's Creed flashbacks from this shoulder.
What is the food he's offering Dr. Crusher? I thought it was a stew, but then he picked it up with his hands, with his fingers.
Looks
That was
like
bacon.
Yeah, I thought it was
looks
just
like
like
beans.
sloppy bacon.
It's like I'm telling you, it's beans. It's space beans.
Space dress today.
Troy and Crusher, why are neither of you in uniform? Come on.
Has
looks like a prom.
Wesley's comm badge always been silver?
I don't know. Maybe he's just been hanging out in the sun a lot and it's sun bleached. Lost
Maybe
the color.
that's like an unofficial, because he hasn't officially gone to Starfleet at this point yet. So maybe that's
He's
like
an acting ensign.
candidate.
How can they tell
But
which
they just
continents
gave them
they
whatever
Easter
they
what?
had. Just gave them whatever they had laying around.
What are you going to do on the away team, Wesley?
Shut up, Crusher.
Just because you're the Wunderkind doesn't mean you can deal with the terrorist organization.
I mean, technically it does, but not on my ship.
Yeah.
We have rules, and we only break those rules when it's convenient for me.
Does he end
Just
up helping figure out the wacky teleport thing later
Yes.
on, or is he
Yes, he
just
does.
okay? So he's not just here because he's the son. Okay.
No, he needs to be the physics Wunderkind here too.
Yeah, of course. Wesley Crusher has to be the cure for everything.
Is there ever a time where he isn't, except for that one where they crash the ship?
I mean, that time when he went to the Native American village and the traveler abducted him, that was Wesley being completely unhelpful.
The time where he lied to Starfleet Academy during the flight training.
Are those just like circuit board style clipboards that they're looking at? Those aren't even screens. It's just a circuit board.
Also, look at her
Look at the
badge.
Yeah.
It's like, what is that?
It looks like a hotel. Like you work at a hotel, and then you like.
Yeah, that's a
I have no
corporate
idea.
sign. That is a corporate sign. She has a pauldron too. It's a thing on this planet. This is the pauldron planet.
That's not a pauldron, I don't think. That looks like it's just a
shoulder-
suede.
Well,
part
it's
of
yeah.
clothes.
Sorry, it's not an add-on, but it's a weird change in fabric that is asymmetrical.
Yeah.
They accentuate their shoulders. This is the accentuated shoulder planet.
But only their right shoulders. Yeah.
Accentuated shoulder planet.
I
Does
mean,
look
I guess
like a
it makes-
Babylon 5 uniform.
Well, they didn't
guess
stick
it-
anything on their forehead, so they're gonna have they're all gonna have a weird thing on their shoulder.
And
Yeah, they gotta show
DB,
that
we
they're
do know
alien.
that yes, the traveler did make Roos die with the boy. We know.
This is the way.
Is there now is the reason why most of them aren't got prosthetics glued to their faces because they spent all the budget on the Q episode this season? Hmm.
Wonder where the budget is going this episode.
It's into all the fancy uniforms.
Oh yeah, all the shoulder pieces.
They have to,
And they had to buy some motherboards to use as clipboards.
Maybe they spent the entire budget on the cave this season. That's why there's not a lot of prosthetic aliens.
No, they spend no budget on the cave. It's just the same cave.
Well, then they have to
Is
blow
this
their
the
budget
Derek
somewhere
cave?
on the season. It
Yeah,
can't
for
be
all we know,
Deja.
this is the duet cave with blue lights instead of red.
It also could be the cave that Odo got stuck in.
In Heart
Could
of
be the
Stone,
cave that
where Kira's
Odo met
being...
his Cardassian.
Yeah.
Also could be that cave Picard goes into when he's being Indiana Jones.
Or the cave.
It could
he
also
goes
be
into
that
before he
cave
gets
where
his-
Captain Kirk goes against the Silicon life form.
Okay, so
Is that the same cave where Captain Kirk goes in and he gets that poorly shaped rock to beat someone with? Or is that a different cave?
It's all the same cave.
It's just the cave. We
Yeah.
appreciate the cave.
Have we had a cave yet in Discovery?
The trail
we had the
cave.
trail. We had the trail cave. But have we seen some like unnamed space cave where people are hiding or something?
Yeah, we've also like been there before. Have there been any other caves?
That's
I don't
true. We've
remember any
actually
of
been
the
to that
caves.
particular location before.
The trail symbiont pools? Symbiont pools?
Yeah.
Yeah, we get to see it in Deep Space Nine.
So it's all the same cave. But they
Okay, so
also,
that,
That's true. That scene actually takes place in the same cave, but wasn't shot in the same cave. That's
Canonically, it is the same cave.
Hang on, let me turn off my background thing, my background removal. Let's see if you guys can hear some barking then.
Oh,
Yes.
we hear that.
Is that a dog?
Oh, he sees the FedEx truck. The FedEx truck may or may not be coming here.
That
I'm
dog
not
is passionate
sure.
about his job.
Why isn't Crusher like doing the name, rank, serial number thing?
Because Starfleet isn't technically a military.
No,
Yeah,
it's
but they
because
do that
he's so
same thing,
handsome
though.
and Dr. Crusher loves him.
She's got problems.
If Gene Wilder dyed his hair and grabbed me like that, I would do what he says.
Yeah.
All right, the dog's just staring out the window, waiting for the FedEx truck to come back down the street because it's a dead end where it went.
He knows.
He knows it's coming back.
Thought that was Janeway for a second.
Well, we do see a Janeway in this show.
Isn't Tom Paris in Next Generation as well?
Yes.
He's called
Yes,
something
he is.
else, but yeah.
Yeah, he's
It's
in
Tom
that
Paris.
episode with Wesley that I just mentioned.
Oh, sorry.
Dude, that one on the left is just straight up seizing. That's really bad.
Yeah, that FedEx truck. I don't know if it's coming here or not. I ordered a bunch of dog chews because they were massive amount off. But it said it was delayed, but here's the FedEx truck. So I don't know if it's going to stop here.
Is
But
this
if it does,
that
Uther's
guy's...
going to freak out.
Is this father and son? Because they've got the same like X-Men rogue streak in their hair.
No,
They all
everyone
have
on this
their-
planet has the streak.
Oh, it's the species thing.
Yeah, that's this. Yeah.
That
The women
shoulders,
have a dark
gotcha.
streak on the left side of their head. Like this lady, she has a dark streak.
Oh
And
yeah,
the men
look at
have the
that.
light streak on the right side of their head.
I did not catch that. Good eye.
But if you look at that freaking, they try to give her the like police chief
Wait.
uniform, but make it
Wait.
feature. So they gave her sparkly suspenders.
She's a blue Oompa Loompa.
The back of that lady's pants was padded with suede.
Yeah, those are
Why does
parachute
she have-
pants. What is this?
Her uniform changed. What happened?
What's that hand in
This
the
is like-
background? What's going on?
It's literally like a '80s cop movie where you got the police chief in the suspenders. He's
Yeah, the
like,
suspenders.
you're going too far.
Except
You're
for
I
going
can
glitter
sit back in my
suspenders.
chair now. The dog got up. I can sit normally. Oh yeah, it looks like the YouTube chat or the chat on stream isn't catching up with the YouTube chat anymore. Don't know why.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's space science. The terrorists don't want the
Yeah, I might be able to fix that. What if I just turn it off and on again?
maybe.
This is the way.
Okay, it's
way.
slowly catching up. It's working its way back to the start to where we are now. Nope, and it just stopped at good point again. Yeah, stream chat's broken. It's fine.
Listen, terrorism is bad.
Is it though? Because that's the question of the episode.
Yeah, I don't know. Ask Major Kira.
I think Data literally asked that at some point.
It's
Ask
not
Ensign Rowe.
terrorism if you win. That's
I wanted
fighting
to
for freedom.
murder innocent
Freedom
police
fighting.
people,
Yeah,
not
yes.
innocent children.
It's only
Cut me some
terrorism
slack,
if you
okay?
lose.
Mistakes happen.
All right, look.
They're freedom
Sonic.
fighters.
It's
just
like
wanna
a war.
Terrorism bad?
Oh,
Remind
look
everyone
behind,
that-
look behind
I've
Dr. Crusher, just to the left of Dr. Crusher. They have a little symbol of a fist going up, very dramatically.
Oh yeah.
Listen, all right. It's like war crimes. It's only a war crime if you lose.
Exactly. There also can't be war crimes if you don't officially declare a war.
Very
Hey,
convenient. Actually, hang on. This is a cave with a big room with metal in it. This is almost definitely the one they were hiding out in when they were trying to free Cardassia.
See,
Could this
It's all
also
the
be
same
the
cave.
Voyager cave where Neelix gets his lung removed by the Vidians? Because there was
Oh,
a room
yeah.
behind that cave wall.
Yeah, this might be the same room that Odo was dying in.
no, we've been over this. It's all the same cave.
Yes, but we just
mean,
like
why-
thinking of the exact instances where we see this cave and
They have to
specific
look.
parts of the cave.
They have to blow their budget on
Is
prosthetics.
this
They can't
cave
spend it on
also?
sets.
And hair dye.
hair dye prosthetic.
Just for this episode.
Also, a reworked set
Suspenders.
of AR-558.
Oh yeah, that whole episode took place in a cave. Almost.
Is that in fact the same transmitter behind the terrorist guy?
It might be. That does look really familiar. Like this shot.
Well, I'm thinking all the metal scaffolding going around looks like the episode with Yuta where she tries to murder a guy. The gatherers had a cave with a bunch of scaffolding in it.
You know,
That was recent.
Something
Yeah,
that
that was last
I'm a
week.
bit disappointed in Star Trek: The Next Generation with the knowledge I know now is.
I need your help instead of professional engineers.
No, he's the Ubermensch. He knows exactly.
Yeah, honestly,
he's not an
Data and
Ubermensch, he's a
Geordi-
Wunderkind.
I think Data and Jordy are both like, this kid's actually really smart. Let's hang out with him. He doesn't have any friends, just like we do. This
Data
is the trio.
has plenty. Data has plenty of friends.
Wait,
Probably.
the subtitles here just said Wesley said astrophysics instead of astrophysics. Did he actually say astrophysics?
You know, astral plane, man.
You know what?
That's not a
Neil
thing.
deGrasse Tyson was not a big voice in people's heads saying astrophysics every 2 minutes. So they probably left that in.
Nobody ever says astral. I've never heard somebody use that in actual scientific
Listen,
context.
man, in the future,
Well, he's a wunderkind.
Listen, in the future, the astral plane, man, is one of the sciences.
He does use that to travel, like literally. So
Mhm.
Well, that
I'm
sounds like an
surprised.
easy way to identify who's a terrorist and who's not.
that's really quick.
I'm a
That's
bit
a good
surprised that throughout the whole long run of The Next Generation, Sir Patrick Stewart never convinced Ian McKellen to just show up once, just so they could spend the day hanging out, because that seems like something they do.
Well, they didn't know.
They
each
do
other
love
at
each
that point.
other.
Did they? I could
I
have
might be able to do it for Picard.
They didn't become friends until X-Men.
Oh, well, now
Yeah.
I feel like an idiot.
I really do not feel comfortable with how easily grabbable both of their guns are.
Yeah.
I do not feel comfortable with that.
Infinite trust.
From
Yeah,
her?
it's,
The lady who's constantly paranoid that everyone in her city is a terrorist?
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
doesn't even look like a holster. That it's like it's velcroed on.
Well, to defend her paranoia, that the gun choice.
The Bajorans do
she
something
did-
very similar.
She did
got a
nearly get
Judge Dredd
assassinated
trigger.
3 times. Oh, they're arresting a child.
I think everyone in the future just has like a magnetic hip plate. They never have anything holding anything on. It's just there. It just sticks there.
Yeah, children blowing up children's not great.
Not
Does
exactly.
You'll never get me alive, copper.
I don't think we've talked about the
Happened.
IRA yet, though.
No,
Oh,
Going back
that's
to
that's
terrorism.
speech from Data.
We're getting to it. That's soon.
yes.
I think it's after Picard makes proper contact with the guy.
What are those pillows? Why are the pillows so shiny? Why are those sequin pillows?
It's space pillows.
Yeah, fusion pillows. You've seen what they sleep in.
They look
Look,
really
the answer to-
uncomfortable.
Just remember, the answer to all of your questions is rather space, space science, future, or future science. Or any of those words in those orders.
Well, apparently there is, Doctor.
Yeah.
How do you know this?
Also, then why did her grandmother move to Space Scotland if she's American?
I mean, the same reason all the aliens went to Space Scotland. Just everybody loves Scotland.
It's nice
They
to know
mostly
that,
go for the climate.
Post-apocalypse, the original presidents are still known in order on foreign worlds 400 years in the future.
Yeah, I'm.
He's
Did
a terrorist on another world, and he just knows off the top of his head.
Yes. I feel like it would have been better if he misquoted. Like, yes, like your General Truman during the American Civil War.
Emperor Napoleon said that, did he not? Am I getting that right?
As
Did
he
Washington
invaded-
actually kill innocent people? Because he's making a big point here. Did Washington actually do that? I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure he only fought British soldiers, and they were serving as like an invading force. I don't know that Washington would have had reason to participate in any civilian or civilian adjacent conflicts.
Right.
He was mostly front lines.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was
I don't
fighting-
remember anything
he
in
was
history
fighting-
about Washington being that kind of terrorist.
Washington
Unless
not
you were-
necessarily do it in military operations, but he was a slaver, so don't forget that.
Yeah, but that's historical perspective, which is a
Yeah,
whole topic
Washington
on the
fought
definition.
specifically redcoats.
That's not terrorism, though. That's just regular evil.
Unless you're Britain, in which case they are a rebellious group of colonists trying
They're
to
traitors.
secede
A
from
group
yes.
Still are. They still are.
What?
So the nation was founded on.
People rebelling from Britain? I've never
You
heard
colonies.
of such
You colonies over there.
We are a rambunctious bunch, we know.
Hey,
Yeah.
where I live was never a colony. We never rebelled against Britain. We just worked with the people who
Whee.
did.
Technically,
We
I'm part
we
of
used
a
to be
Spanish
Mexico.
colony.
Yeah,
Oh,
we were
how
a
does
Spanish
Britain feel
colony.
about, how does Britain feel about the West Coast? Are they cool with the West Coast? Is it just the East Coast? Is it just the Bostoners?
How does Spain feel about the West Coast? How
I
does
like
Mexico
everyone
feel
from
about
America.
California?
How does Mexico feel about Texas? Wait.
I'm worried about Texas at the moment.
We're all kind of worried about Texas.
Everyone's
Two
always
things are eternal.
just anything in
Death
like the
and
southeast.
Texas.
We're always worried about.
It's a good thing to be worried about the South. It's healthy to be worried about the South in general.
No, nothing is going on in the deep south. I can confirm everything is fine. Do not look at
Everything's fine. Don't need to look. Just stay where we are. Don't worry about it.
Have actually avoided looking today.
Hang on. Let me check the news. See what horrors have unfolded in the South today.
No.
It really does look like a front desk hotel name badge.
Oh, Texas tried to sue Pennsylvania, and that got denied.
Mm-hmm.
So that
was
happened.
this morning. I think early
Yeah.
this morning. Yeah. I haven't heard anything since like 10 a.m. and it's 5, so businesses have closed. Things may have happened in the last 2 hours. Oh, here comes the IRA thing.
This was one of the best episodes, top 10.
My God.
Well, now I have to disagree. I really like the episode, but I don't think it's in my top 10.
Top 10 maybe if you only do TNG and you keep out the ones that like everyone says is good.
Okay, how about like moral conundrum episodes? Like
No,
symmetry
that's
in nature.
that's too broad too.
Oh,
Maybe
there it is.
top
Irish
10
Unification of 2024.
Maybe a top 10 terrorist themed episodes. Yeah.
This is one of the top 10 times Data asks a question for the audience and sparks a philosophical discussion.
Okay.
Definitely top 10 that.
So
Thank you.
watch out. We have 4 years until the Irish reunification. Irish Unification 2024.
Do we know
By-
if
by
Brexit is
terrorist means,
completed
which
by
is-
then?
Which is ominous.
I think
Freaking,
Brexit might be a problem for that.
Will Brexit be done by 2024?
I don't know.
It's supposed to be done now.
No, see,
It was
what's going to
supposed
happen?
be done years ago.
Northern Ireland is going to get really fed up with UK's Brexit. Well, they are with England's Brexit. So they're going to vote for independence, and then they're going to reunify with Ireland.
I mean,
In
things
2024.
are already going down a slippery slope. I think this happened last week, but I received a news report that a van exploded in Londonderry. So
They're not
things
supposed
might-
to do that.
Yeah, things might escalate. Anyway, I'm going back to how he knew about Washington. I'm wondering, do we ever see an alien race get it wrong? Like talking about Earth history.
Does Shakespeare in the original Klingon count?
Yeah.
Hey, you can actually find that these days. There is an actual translation.
But it's
somewhere.
not the
It's not the
original.
original though.
Yeah, it's not the original.
Or is it?
Dun, dun.
This music, though.
I don't
This
think that
episode
line
also
of
highlights-
it's gonna fly.
If you look, you can see that the precise moment she gets Stockholm syndrome.
Oh, I have no doubt.
Oh, yeah.
I was gonna
right
say
there.
Stockholm.
Yeah, what's up? Mr. Fiddle?
Oh, I was just gonna say Stockholm Syndrome.
It shall be a glorious day, just as how MacArthur drove across the Rubicon.
Oh, they also have the old
ominous music.
Of course, it's ominous.
Well, we get
just
the
like
space
when
terrorists.
Beethoven sieged Berlin.
Okay, that definitely looks like it was set to kill.
Yeah, that man is dead.
That guy has a hole in his chest.
The terrorists.
Oh my god.
The terrorists.
I kind of actually appreciate that. Usually when someone gets phasered, they just like fall backward and they're fine. That person actually had like severe burn marks on his chest. He had a hole in him.
Jordy could see that happening. I swear to God, he saw him beaming in before we saw him beaming in.
Oh yeah, he's got the visor.
That was quite a jump, Jordy. Jordy's so athletic. He does barrel rolls. He does jumps. Dude works out.
Yeah, we've seen him roll on the ground a couple of times. He gets under doors, man. Right,
he jumps around the turbo lift that one time. Not on purpose, but he does.
Why are bombs always attached to the sides of things? Like, you could put it next to it, it would work just fine.
Right on top, or yeah.
There's an overabundance of magnets in the future. They got to do something with them, man.
Also, why is it such a long timer?
So wait, what's the plan? They blow up the ship, and then what? The Federation comes to the planet. I don't...
The idea is that in getting the Federation to come to the planet, the Federation's going to want to mediate between the two. So they'll actually get attention.
But if they blow up the flagship, that's like, that's not a good thing. That's like Ireland blowing up the,
With a magnet, Jordy. It's a magnet.
Just gonna pull real hard.
Yeah, it's just a really, really strong... There's no chemical bond. You're going to pull it off. There's going to be nothing there. No mark. It was magnets. Magic.
It really should have exploded like 30 seconds ago.
Yeah, what a horrible deadband switch.
It's such a long time.
It's like they want them to get away.
Put 1 minute.
Hang on, Troy.
And it instantly explodes as soon as it's beamed away. That's so convenient.
Of all people to be surprised by a decision, it's the empath.
That's true.
Wait, is Jordy really going to beam himself out holding the bomb? Whoa. Of all people. Troy. Data just barely flinches.
And Worf is not Worf. Worf gets shot. Picard is the one who just punches a guy.
And they knew where the bridge was, but they beamed to engineering first.
Yeah, to blow
well, they wanted to blow up the warp core.
Okay,
yeah, they would have. Yeah, they
Also,
know that the thing didn't go off because the ship wouldn't be there for them to beam on. So as soon as it lasted past the timer, they're like, "Oh, go do the bridge now."
I'm looking at the blowing up plan, and I feel like it wouldn't be, "Hey, let's mediate the situation." It's more like blame the main on Spain.
Remember the Alamo.
Remember the Alamo. Remember Pearl Harbor. Remember the Enterprise. Remember the Enterprise.
Then, if they actually blew up the ship, then Chief O'Brien couldn't have gone to play at the Alamo. We would have missed out on it. We wouldn't be remembering the Alamo.
Where is that holodeck episode?
Look at Jordy's pad. Why is it red?
That's a Pokedex. I've never seen that before.
I was like, is that a Game Boy? What does he have?
It's a Game Boy, yeah.
Is that one of the alien species data pads, or?
Well, no, the alien species had those weird blue, like sanded circuit board looking things.
Yeah, what?
Go.
God, that looks like a name tag for a hotel. I can't get over that thing now.
It really does.
It does.
Welcome to Hilton.
Hello,
my name is Trainee.
You know what? It's the holiday season. You're going to rewatch Home Alone 2, and then you're going to see that that's the bad.
Yeah, it's the same name tag.
Same
They
name tag.
reused the prop.
They stole it from Home Alone 2. No.
Sir, we need a hotel name tag prop. Well, we got all these Star Trek: The Next Generation props.
Yeah, they were just in the studio next door. You know how it goes.
No. No, it's not actually a prop. Just someone accidentally stole it from a hotel, and they needed to hide it.
It's like, oh yeah, I got something in my car. I got fired last week. Let me help.
But they have like a dozen of those things on different cars. How many did they steal?
It was a bachelor party. They rented out like the entire floor, and things got weird.
I kind of regret not pausing a second ago. We got a really close shot on like the police chief lady, and I could almost read the name tag. I mean badge.
Well, we can scroll back after the episode, or maybe we'll get another close up.
It just looked like raised like symbols and stuff. It didn't look like
probably
alphanumeric.
Is it in Braille?
It's in Predator.
It looked similar to that. Yeah, maybe.
How would a Braille badge work?
Well, you know, when you first meet someone, you just go and like stick your hand on their chest to feel around for a name tag.
I do that. I'm not even blind, so.
Okay, so she's been here for several days now.
Is this the part where Picard's like, listen, you got Stockholm Syndrome?
Yes, actually. That's exactly what's going on. And he knows it. Okay, Dr. Crusher, this is... You are really not helping here.
Look, they're terrorists.
I tried,
but not for lack of trying, yeah.
We tried to kill your son. Didn't work. We got you go. I don't know who he is.
So we're cool, right?
Yeah, we're cool, right? You want to go to Menchie's? Get some froyo? Frogurt, I call it. Want to see my chocolate factory? Want to help me make a play?
Man, that bomb was really making Roos die with the warp core. Honestly, I don't disagree with this particular point.
Yeah, well...
You know, like every time they leave species to die. They just don't want to get personally dirty. They don't want to get their hands dirty, but they're not...
Well, I mean, would you prefer the Federation
involved and get the Federation to get dirty would be to, murder people and blow up a ship.
I mean, what would they prefer?
They would route them the
Federation
same way the Dominion routed out the Maquis. It would be over.
Really, what would they prefer? The Federation going to every non-aligned planet saying, "We are here to rescue you. Please do not resist."
You know, in some ways, they're even worse than the Borg. At least they tell you about their plans for assimilation. Federation's more insidious.
Like root beer.
An honorable agreement.
He says that with so much conviction, I completely believe that he's not being sarcastic.
Are torpedoes honorable? They know where the cave is.
Honorable.
These last two episodes, Picard is just like hard mode. He's not cooperating with anyone.
I mean, yeah, he's Picard, the greatest captain in Starfleet history.
Yeah, but like this is like hard diplomacy. He had the defector, and now he's literally negotiating with terrorists from a position of a kidnapper.
His ideology got a little mixed up. He recently read the biography about Otto von Bismarck, and now he's just trying to be, things got weird.
Okay, this is a lot to ask someone to remember in such a stressful situation.
Like, give him a note or something. Like, why is it always verbal demands? Why not write it down for once?
You could at least tell Data, who we know will remember. Okay, we might get a close-up of the lady's name badge here. No, Wesley, get your head out of the way.
Move your big head, Wesley.
Move your head, Wesley.
Put your hair down. Why are you trying to look like Riker?
Typical Wes.
How much hair product do you think he has to put in that?
Damn it, Wesley.
Who?
Probably more than Data's.
There's more product in Wesley's hair than product on Data's skin.
That's scary.
Why does he need to request permission? He's always on the security team. That's his whole job.
Well, that's how things work.
Why would he not be on the team?
I gotta.
Is it because
I
he
have to
failed
know if that
earlier?
silver badge is.
We'll find out.
And I'll look up for you. Wesley Crusher, silver badge.
I just, it'd be really cool if they like bothered to do that. I don't care if they do it in post. That'd be really neat.
I'm trying to wonder.
Also,
Is
they
there-
might they might have held off on. Worf may have asked permission because they're already down a captain and he's head of security. Like, how many more senior staff? We've lost our chief medical and our captain. Does security really want to get involved in this too?
Memory Alpha says it's a comm badge used for provisional officers.
All right, neat. That's intentional then. That's really cool.
I mean,
Good
just because
job,
Memory
Gene.
Alpha said it doesn't mean it's true, but that's what they say.
Isn't there another wiki for the Star Trek? I just can't remember what it's called.
Memory beta.
There's memory beta.
What's the difference?
Memory beta.
Memory Alpha
not
is
one-
stuff. Memory Alpha tries to be more strictly canon. Memory Beta will talk more about like books and comics and stuff.
Hard canon, soft canon stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, one of these episodes, at least in the TNG era, it seems like they never show the terrorism, for lack of a better word, I guess, of the police force. The only thing Finn said is he's been screaming and he feels unheard. So he uses this interdimensional travel and drops bombs. If they actually show...
80s. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say if they actually showed the state authorities, like, well, they did mention like them killing people, but it seemed the way the episode is laid out, it sounds like it's a response of the terrorism that they're doing, that the police are doing that. They don't show the whatever is instigating this,
You are right. Everything we see is at the response to terrorism. For example, police chief is paranoid, but that's because she survived 3 assassination attempts, arresting children. A kid blew up a bus.
Yeah.
They make I feel like they make a point to try and keep the quote authority figure in the right in an episode. So they'll do the emotional, like, yeah, these are why the freedom fighters are fighting for freedom thing. But let's not actually show the police being bad. That would be against our 80s, 90s patriotic sensibilities. These are SWAT masks. Those are just SWAT masks.
Yeah, but they did in DS9, like just a year later, whatever.
Oh, you mean the black sheep of Star Trek? Yes. Yeah, they did some stuff that they did not like when Gene Roddenberry was still alive.
Yeah.
Yes, let's talk more about war crimes. I confess everything. Why shouldn't I?
I know I've seen this shot before. This cave is...
Every cave in Star Trek is the same cave. It's all the same set. They may
It's
just
so
move a
nice
rock
to
around.
see it, though.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
this really does
why
look
is
like the
Riker
Siege.
here? If Picard is off, is Picard is kidnapped, why isn't Riker still on the bridge? He's the only
Hang on.
remaining.
Data and Troy are the highest ranking officers on the ship right now. Data and then Troy.
The empath and the machine. Oh, this
Or is it Troy then Data?
I think it's Data. 'cause
It's Data
he's
then
the
Troy for
commander.
Right, because she
Oh,
hasn't
yeah.
passed the bridge test.
I
Yeah,
don't
not
even
yet.
know why Troy is in the command structure anyway. It's so
Because
stupid.
High Command makes a decision that they need to talk about their feelings about said decision.
I think she straight up says in the episode where she takes the bridge test, she's like, I figured I would, but I became a counselor or something and just never did. It was like an elective. Also, she wears blue, so she wouldn't even be command. This is just like she needs to be able to do this because she's a senior officer.
Well, no, because
Yeah.
Data does command too, and he's in yellow. Geordi can do command. When he
Dax
was in
does.
red, Geordi took command.
Dax does, and she's in blue. I mean, it's possible, but
Starfleet has weird.
Yeah, you
Every-
can be a captain but not be in the command division, like not wear a red shirt because
They minor in command. They major in science.
Yes. Like the last episode where she's piloting or she's captaining that medical ship in
Yeah.
the finale.
one thing I liked about the DS9 episodes, they had Starfleet security. I think his name was Admiral Todman. He was an admiral, but he had a gold uniform.
I was about to bring that up. You can't steal my lines.
Hell yeah, that
I
was
like the
pretty cool.
DS9 admirals.
And and I like that idea. I think if you like started in the science division for whatever and you make your way up to captain, you could be just like a blue shirt captain. I think that's perfectly fine.
I think
really
it's
good. It's
I
awesome.
think I think that's allowed. I think red is just its own form. Like you studied command, but that doesn't mean you'll go to admiral immediately.
Worf never gets command in his yellow shirt, does he? Only when he turns red?
Yeah.
And like we said, there are security admirals who remain yellow. That's a good point.
What do you got to do? Shoot me?
Picard's been shot before. He's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple of times.
Stab.
Right, and the day is saved. We ended terrorism.
We did it.
We did it. Terrorism is no more.
Nah, they foreshadowed this. He straight up said 1 martyr is better than 10 dead officials.
Oh, this is some dramatic
That is
lighting.
a great shot.
Yeah, really, jeez.
Look at that edge lighting on Riker's face, outlining his
Probably.
silhouette.
Take his
It
badge
makes
off to
it-
avoid.
It sort of looks like Riker is it's like the silhouetted villain in like in some sort of action show.
He's
Like,
future
he's going to
guy
be
from
revealed
Enterprise.
as the villain in 3 episodes?
He's future guy from Enterprise.
Alfred Hitchcock presents.
Like Denise Crosby's Romulan character, she was in Shadow the first time we met her. She was only revealed later on.
What's gonna happen? Will the cops shoot a kid?
I hope so.
It's pretty emotional.
Is someone going to make Roos die with the boy? Oh, the cops are going to make Roos die with the boy.
To the Roostai chamber.
Is this the second or third episode we've
Room
watched?
101.
This is the last episode for today.
Yeah, next week's gonna be great because we get a Q
yeah.
episode.
And yesterday's Enterprise.
Oh yeah,
There's
next
already-
week's going to be amazing.
There's
Yeah.
only one thing I like more than holodeck episodes, and that's Q episodes.
You can't go wrong with Q.
Here's
Did you ever play the Q VHS? The Make Your Own Adventure Q VHS?
And then
See,
That is pretty cool.
this is what I'm saying. This is what Counselor Troy should be doing. You've had murders on the ship. You've had
kidnappings.
Stockholm syndrome, kidnapping, attempted murders. That's what you should
Brainwashing.
be doing. Yeah,
She should be part of every debrief. She should be the first person that they talk to.
She should not be on the bridge telling the captain what he already knows. Romeo.
Breaking several procedures. These are all compromised people.
Dr. Crusher really needs therapy right now. She fell in love with
They
her captain
all
who
need
she thought
therapy.
murdered her son.
I'm emotionally compromised. Sit in the little bitch seat.
They all need to be in therapy. Every person on that ship needs to be therapy, even Data.
We
They
never
just
get to see people sit in that thing. I love that one.
Do we ever see Data in therapy?
Yes, actually, we
yes.
do.
Yes, you do.
He goes to see Counselor
Is
Troy.
it-
If you remember in the Descent, when he's being fed negative emotions, he goes to see Troy about the anger he's feeling and how he enjoyed killing that Borg.
Doesn't he
Nice.
also see Counselor Troy when he loses at Stratagema or something?
No,
Oh, yeah.
Troy goes to see him, or Pulaski does. They go to see him in his quarters.
Oh,
Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
Pulaski shames him.
Freaking Data just starts speaking. I killed them all. They're dead.
Oh,
I
that
hate-
little-
I thought-
that little
not
chair
just the
Crusher
men,
sat on.
But the women and the children.
They keep changing the bridge design throughout the series, so occasionally there's chairs, occasionally there's not. They just keep making little modifications to it.
You know,
I
The
like
chairs
when we get to see
change.
little things like that.
the most important change was when they added seatbelts that we never get to see them use.
Because they added seatbelts for Nemesis, and then it was a deleted scene. I wish they'd left
Seatbelts
that
are
in.
important.
They also gave Worf a stool. Not a chair, but a stool.
That's all he needs.
He is a warrior. He does need a comfortable chair.
Klingons
warrior
do
does
think
not
about
sit.
warriors do
sport.
not use chairs. Yeah.
Warriors do not relax in chairs.
Klingons do not care for lumbar support.
Especially if you had an artificial back, whatever like Worf does.
Oh yeah.
No, it's a real back. They grew him a new biological one.
You got a clone
Oh
back.
yeah.
Yeah, but it's like a secondhand clone back. So
Instead of baby got back, it's Klingon got back.
So tomorrow's episodes for DS9 are Visionary, which is horrifying. That's the one where O'Brien is suffering again, and he's time shifting.
The one.
oh yeah.
He's time shifting, and he sees himself just die like 2 or 3 times.
Oh yeah, that's one of the really bad ones. Okay.
No, I really like the episode, but it's horrifying.
Yeah, like
It's really bad for him. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. That he suffers especially in this one.
Oh yeah.
It's a night.
And then there's
He gets Ensign Kimmed.
yeah, he does. And then after that is Distant Voices with Bashir having like a magical adventure in his head, where the station's falling apart and people are dying or something.
Oh my god, is that the one where like he starts aging uncontrollably? I never actually
Yes.
saw that one. This will be a first
Yeah.
for me.
Oh, it is
That one's-
a wonderful episode.
Good.
Oh, I love it.
It's filled with Garrick, and that's
Oh man, yeah. The flip in the character personalities threw me off, and I was just like, okay, this is early. We can probably just skip this one. I'm not gonna. Cool.
Bashir
And
as
that-
an old man is just hilarious because he immediately turns into just as he gets older, he turns
Just Dr.
into
McCoy?
a caricature of an old person. Yeah.
it sort of reminds me of when we see Bones
think
in
he's
the
McCoy.
Next Generation.
This is gonna be very fun for me. Cool.
Yeah. It's that same old man makeup they use for everyone, where it looks completely unnatural. But you can tell they're old.
And the final one,
80s old.
Through the Looking Glass.
Through the Looking Glass, where
Oh,
Commander Sisko gets to talk to his dead wife.
Mirror Universe.
Is
that
this
the one-
first
wait.
one?
asking
This
about
this
that.
isn't the first Mirror Universe episode, but it's the first dead wife episode.
Alright.
Okay, but it's not the first mirror for. Okay, so they've been
I
there
can
before.
never keep track
Yeah.
of the Mirror. I'm gonna be honest. I can never keep track of the Mirror Universe episodes. I love the
Kind of the
idea
same,
behind them.
yeah.
I love the idea, but I never know how it starts and how it ends. Because
So Discovery and Deep Space Nine are the only mirror episodes I've ever seen. So they always felt like a distraction in Deep Space Nine because like everyone got back by the end of the episode and everything was fine, which is not how that series usually went.
The one thing I like about that mirror episode is the fight scene between the Defiant and the Klingon ship. I always thought that was amazing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is one.
Okay. Spoiler, like that mirror episode for tomorrow is the one where Cisco in the mirror universe sleeps with Dax.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's gonna happen.
Yeah. Okay, this is a good one.
there is an aesthetic.
There was a Reddit thread about that recently.
There is something that I kind of wish that they did more of the Mirror Universe. Is that in the original series they gave Spock an evil goatee, and I wish
Yes.
that there was just more people with evil goatees.
Well, remember Thomas Riker from Defiant when he's pretending to be William Riker? He has the full
he
beard,
just rips
and
him
then he goes to goatee when he's revealed to be evil Riker.
I don't
It's
like
perfect. It's a perfect scene.
I don't get that. It's
So someone was asking about that QVHS I said about. If you Google or YouTube Star Trek Borg, there's like someone's done a rip of the entire VHS of the Make Your Own Adventure. It's Q takes you through like the entire story all the way, making you make choices. It's pretty cool actually. If you've got an hour.
They had one where it was oh god, Gowron, right? They did one of those.
yeah.
Except it's not actually Gowron,
very
it's just the same
yes.
actor.
It's
It's
like
the
a
same
board
actor
game,
who acts
though.
exactly the same and looks exactly the same, but it's not Gowron, honest.
There's also
Is
a
it
full motion
is it
video.
canonically not Gowron?
Canonically, it's not Gowron.
No,
But it's
two different
Gowron.
ones.
It's clearly
There's two
Gowron.
different ones. One's a VHS companion to a board game. The other
Right.
is
Oh,
That's
that's
what I'm
Star
thinking
Trek,
of.
yeah.
The other's called Star Trek Klingon, which is a Simon and Schuster full motion video adventure game that came
Oh
out
god.
I put
in
the
early
I
2000s, I think.
put the best
And-
clip from that in the chat, and it's Gowron versus the Packland.
I'm remembering the Experience Beige. I think that's from the board game
That's
one.
the board game, yeah.
Experience
board game.
Beige.
Experience Beige. It's like when Hertzler just says honor out of character, he's still
It's just
amazing.
he's just General Martok in everything he acts in.
It just for the word honor. He's talking totally normal and then honor.
Anytime I think of Martok, I just remember him just being so annoyed at Worf from like by Worf being like Bridezilla for his wedding, and it's
All right, I'm gonna play that clip from what's it called with Quantum Leap again, with where it's just General Martok. It's just the same guy.
Oh, Martok's in Quantum Leap. Holy shit. Can't hear it. Oh wait, I'm muted.
You can't hear it. Why can't you hear it? I have the desktop
No, it's
audio
me.
going through.
It's me. I hear it now.
Okay, let's try. Start again. Can you hear that?
No, I'm hearing nothing.
yeah.
That's so weird.
Nothing.
I have my desktop light. Hang on, I'll do some fixing. Oh, they're only echoing because I had to set my audio things.
Oh no, we can't look at his recommendation. Freaking! I saw Obi-Wan. I saw Obi-Wan.
It was all Star X clips.
All right, maybe this will work now.
I want
Oh,
your
you're in
word
trouble. We saw Star Wars.
that you'll stay away from Catherine and not interfere with this wedding.
You have a
Brian
solemn
Edits,
word of
hates
honor.
Star Trek, loves Star Wars.
You
Arrested
have
now.
no honor. You have no honor.
I mean, look at the guy. He's even closing one eye like Martok with his.
You have no honor.
Oh, he totally. Wow, he's just channeling a Martok.
It's just Martok.
It's
Solemn
absolutely.
word of
Oh my
honor.
god.
So okay,
Dude,
so
I had no idea.
No
Quantum
honor.
Leap was before Enterprise, right? So this is
No.
extra fun now because that's Archer.
Yeah. Was this also before DS9 or is this post Martok?
I'm pretty sure Quantum Leap was over before DS9.
Okay. Oh, the description says saying his famous line years before appearing on the show. So yeah, they're just. It's just the same.
So is that just how that dude says honor?
Yeah, that's just J.J. Hertzler. That's just him.
Like somebody casting in Star Trek saw that episode of Quantum Leap and was like, "Hey, that guy would be perfect for a Klingon."
And they were right.
Yeah,
That's kind of
they're like,
remarkable.
"Hey, he even says honor."
So Quantum Leap ended in May of 1993. Deep Space Nine started in January of 1993.
My God.
Well before Martok would have been even considered a character on Deep Space
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nine.
see, hearing those dates out loud, I feel silly for having even thought this was possible otherwise, but wow.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
That Quantum Leap was great back then.
Martok is the best Klingon. I mean, Worf's cool and all, but Martok's the best Klingon.
I don't know, I think Ash Tyler's pretty good too.
Do you mean as Volk or as Ash Tyler?
Yes?
Yeah.
I
That is
actually
completely
called
unhelpful.
out- I called out the Star Trek Discovery Instagram on that because, like, they posted a picture of Ash, and it's like everyone's favorite human turned Klingon. That's not what the episode said. I don't think anyone actually knows what Ash Tyler is. I don't think anyone it's not actually written down anywhere.
Wait, you mean like now or at the time? Because it's definitely established now what he is.
At the time, I don't think they had it set in, but I'm not sure that everyone is on board with the same story. What is he officially? He was a Klingon who was turned into a physical human and had a human's mind grafted onto a Klingon altered, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Ash Tyler's just dead and Vogue is mutilated.
Yes, real Ash Tyler is dead. His like memories and everything were implanted into Volk after Volk had like all his bones broken down to fit in a human frame, and they like probably messed with his DNA. I don't remember that specifically.
The night after the episode with the scene where you saw him getting like maimed into a human, the Star Trek Instagram was like, look at everyone's favorite human with a Klingon brain.
I mean,
Swear
when
to
Ash
God, they
Tyler,
did this.
when Tyler actually goes to Kronos and is interacting with other Klingons, he's actually really good there.
Oh yeah, no, it's
really good as a
fantastic.
Klingon.
I'm really sad he left the show.
Oh yeah. Honestly, I kind of forgot he left.
Yeah, like I want
kinda
him
forgot
back.
about
Giorgio, I don't really care about Giorgio. It's nice to see the mirror stuff again, but like I want Ash.
The Giorgio
It just makes me
episode,
sad.
from 2 days ago is amazing. And
It
I'm really
is.
excited to see part 2.
Yeah, they really they won me over with the Mirror Universe stuff.
It's a lot better than
Sad
DS9's Mirror
because-
Universe.
Yeah. Giorgio makes me sad because I really like Michelle Yeoh. I just hate her character now.
Yeah, I liked Philippa.
But she is
Like,
Philippa.
They killed her, but they killed her in the first episode.
I think Empress Giorgio will be slowly but steadily turning more into just regular Philippa or Giorgio. over the
I
course of the
hope
series.
so. I really hope so, because like even the crew is sick of her. Like Burnham is just calling her on this stuff now. They're all tired of it.
Like, spoilers for the most recent episode. When she actually goes back to the Mirror Universe and is interacting with them, she's clearly uncomfortable with the way people are acting.
Oh, intensely
She's clearly
is great.
She's taken a lot of lessons from our Prime Universe, what we consider the Prime Universe.
Yeah, when she saw Saru, you could see her like her heart just
She feels bad for.
Now, I hate to be a Debbie Downer, but even if she goes back, nothing's going to change. How many times has the Prime Universe interfered, only for things to continue being the literal worst?
Several.
I don't know.
Yes.
Cronenberg. I feel like Cronenberg's going to do something. They're really setting new precedent here.
When they
Working out
talked
the whole
about
time
how the Terrans, this is the part I didn't like. They talked about how the Terrans like had some genetic mutation that made them evil.
Oh, the Chimera thing, yeah.
I was really expecting the reveal to be, instead of what they actually went with, I was expecting the reveal to be like Cronenberg messed with her DNA to toggle that. And so she was having like massive PTSD flashbacks to what she did in the Mirror Universe.
Yeah, I figured they did something like that when they brought her into Starfleet base.
But it looks like they did not, in fact.
Yeah, instead we got a Doctor Who episode.
And I ain't
That was
complaining because the episode we
first
got was
half of
great.
that. Yeah, that was a Doctor Who episode though. It was amazing.
All right,
I was
so
expecting him to say I'm Winston Churchill, but he didn't. So
maybe we can talk more about Terra Firma Part 2 next week. We'll be back with DS9 tomorrow, with some reasonably good episodes. Some reasonably good ones. And then TNG next week with some amazing episodes. All 3 are just great. But that's it for today. Everyone, go away.
Right.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks.
See you later, folks.
Goodbye.
Bye.